Okay, it's happening. I'm gonna refresh. Theoretically, we should be on there soon. There is a slight delay from what I understand.
It said we were live.
Yeah, we are live.
Podcasts that start like this.
Well, it doesn't cost anything. This is free.
So silly old buffers who don't know what the fuck they're doing.
Yeah, I think it's happening.
It's happening. We're here.
I think it's happening.
I can hear you in the background. Do you want to turn that down, please? It's rather distracting.
No, yeah, I've muted it on the thing. I'm just making sure it's happening. It's all happening.
It's happening. We're here. We're live.
Okay.
Bro.
Oh, look. First, okay. I'm going to ignore the comments. I'm concentrating on you, the actual other person in this. But here we go. And this is all raw. There's going to be no editing, no post-production work on this.
What, you mean they can see my hair?
Yeah, no, I'm putting that in. I'll put that in, okay. But I'm not gonna, don't worry about that. You're gonna be, you're gonna look like Fabio. I've got the Fabio.
I'm sick of getting like the letters for the, I'm constantly inundated with, will you come to my photo shoot? Can we give you this yacht? I'm just sick. I've already got 3 Learjets. I don't need any more. Come on.
Well, I mean, you can only fly one at a time, really.
Fly them? Oh no, I don't do that. I just collect them.
Of course, yeah. You should wank to them, I would imagine.
No.
Well,
allowed in the UK, not now, innit? Tier 3 here, no masturbation allowed.
Okay, here we go. We're on. Hey, everyone! It's Grubgun, and look over. Where is he? He's over there. Look who it is. It's our Daz, and we're in episode 1 of the exciting. Yeah, I know we did it. I mean, like I managed to pull this guy out of retirement. Like I had to search the UK through all of the retirement homes to finally figure out which one he was. They've interned him in, and
the most secure one.
Yeah, I've reanimated him, and here he is. I mean, it's the thing. Yeah, I mean, this is what I do. I jump on the bandwagon of the most popular YouTubers, and I ride on their coattails.
I feel the hate.
You like my glasses?
What fucking lens in your glasses?
Well, I see. The thing is if I have my real glasses on, it shows the reflection.
What
of
a fake bastard! I want it known right here and now. Look at mine, not proper.
Yeah, but you don't have the professional lighting that I do.
Oh dear, no, that's it. Now we've just lost a bit of respect for you. Thought this was about rebuilding our friendship and moving forward into this. That's just no. Who wears fake glasses?
It's about the about the magic. It's about the magic. It's the thing is you have to believe what's happening on the screen is real, right?
So no, it's not real though, is it? This is real. And that's what we've always said. Right? If this is real here, this is really happening here now. It's not
okay. Okay, well here we go. Let's get down to business, as it were. So let's start out. We'll I know the last episode, the episode 0 as it was, we talked about what we've been up to, but let's just find out what what's happening with us in the last week or so, in knowing me, Grubgun, knowing you, Kona Solaro. Aha. So tell me, Daz, what is a man about town, bon vivant, as it were, get up to during a week in Sheffield?
So it usually starts off a Monday morning, does the week.
Mm.
So I wake up with a bit of a headache because I had too much to drink on Sunday.
Of course.
I drag myself out of my pit, which is really hard work these days because I'm an old bastard.
Correct.
I go into the facilities and a bloot. So we'll call it, that's the nicest way of putting it, which is not very nice.
Mm-hmm.
And then I retire to the kitchen where I have a filling breakfast of a piece of toast and a cup OT. And then I go to work and I work my bollocks off. Then I come home right?
Right.
I watch a bit of television, and I go to sleep. And I
Okay.
repeat that for 5 days.
Well, I mean, that's that's what real men do. Now,
No, you mean you want to know what I do in my spare time? That
well,
minute, yeah.
by the sounds of it,
No, I work. I don't work crazy overtime, so I'll do like 8 hours, and then I'll come home, and most evenings I'm either in the garage struggling with nuts and bolts, or I'm in here struggling with shoot 'em ups. And this week, actually, I've been working with my capture card, trying to get that set up, which I've just managed to do. So yeah, I'm going to capture some tortured gameplay for the masses. I know they love that.
Oh, I'll tell you. Let me tell you that gameplay videos, they always get a lot of views. They are the most popular thing on YouTube. I'll tell you.
It's a new pickup video, isn't it? The gameplay.
You're gonna
They just
watch.
don't realize it yet.
If there was a graph that would show the spike in views, it would go off the screen. Yeah, it would fill like that glass is filling. And this is the thing. I mean, like you
They hate them, don't they? Why is that?
You have your finger on the pulse of YouTube. This is it. It's you know exactly what everybody like you. It's like you. It's like you're the catalyst that moves everything forward on YouTube. No, we both.
No, you're going to ruin it for me. I'm going to have a mental breakdown.
No, we both know that gameplay videos are garbage. So anyway, but have a good time. No, it's fine. No.
Gameplays are there for you to not necessarily. I use gameplays for kind of looking at something that I'm potentially wanting to buy.
Okay.
Like anything on YouTube, you go there for a reason, and the reason for gameplay, in my opinion, is either to watch someone totally make a dick of themselves, which is my angle.
You invented that, I think.
Yeah. Or just to get a bit of information. What's it look like? Do I think it's going to be up my boulevard? I don't want to spend. If you're collecting Saturn shooters, you don't want to. Spend the thick end of 300 or 400 quid on something that you're not going to want to play. Having said that, you probably, by the time you've bought it, played it, and resold it, it's probably appreciated by 50 quid anyway. So you're not on a loser. But that's what I use gameplays for, not necessarily to watch the gameplay, but just to get a feel for what it is. Am I gonna? And I have used that in the past, and it has stopped me buying games as well. Someone said, I've heard someone mention a game, and I've gone off to have a look for it. I've gone off to have a look for it and looked at it and thought, no, actually, no, I'm not that bothered about that one, and it stopped me. But that's what I think they're for. They're kind of a quick. I think if you have them for a quick info, so this is what it looks like, this is how it plays, then fine. But I don't sit through hours of someone, completing a game, because for me it's all spoiler as well, especially if I'm interested and I want to play it. I don't want to watch the entire thing, I want to play it.
Yeah, no, well, I mean, that's the thing. Like, I do use YouTube videos for finding out what things that I need to buy or stuff like that. So that is, it's a good. It's a commercial. You're producing.
Yeah, you're offering that information to anyone who might be interested.
But see, still, they're coming for the person playing the game, not the game itself.
Well, on my channel, I would hope.
Well, I mean, this is the thing.
Enjoy the torture. Just they're sat there, they're screaming at the screen, telling me everything I'm doing wrong, and laughing at my inability and my lack of motor skill. As I go into my twilight years.
But it gives people hope that even people that are have the shaky hands and the very flawed vision that you have, and that basically you're a geriatric at this point, but still you're able to hang out with the kids and play video games with the best of them, and that's what it's all about.
Not really.
No,
see, I grew up in the 70s. And if you hang around with kids, you grow up in the 70s, then your idols, they're all possibly locked away by now, which most of mine are.
Yeah, yeah.
So,
Well, I mean,
yeah,
we both grew up in the 70s. I mean, you're much older than I am, but I mean,
by months.
yeah. Well, I mean, still, it's several
Weeks
days
even.
several days older than me, and I mean, like
Yeah.
each day is 24 hours. So I mean,
It shows as well, though. I've had a very, very hard life.
oh,
I would say
it's
yeah, we didn't get to your week, did we? We need to backtrack here, guys, because did you see what he did there? That was very clever of Sir Grubulus. That he has asked me what I did in the week and then totally skirted over what he did in the week. So we need to, after I've waffled and answered this question, we'll go back to that. So yeah, no, you've aged well. You obviously had a very easy paper round or no paper round, or the increased use of oil of Ulay over the last year or so. In fact, you've got that stuff, haven't you, from Death Becomes Her? You've got bought a vial of that stuff, and you're going to live forever now.
Well, my beauty regimen is it's confidential. That's something that only people who subscribe to my OnlyFans page know
Filters
exactly.
are good, aren't they?
I mean, the things that I've rubbed on my face to make it look like this is it's unbelievable. I mean, it's by the ounce. It's pretty expensive.
Don't believe it.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that sounds looks like you've had a pretty thrilling week there.
No, I work hard. You have to up here. It's tough up north. We have to work at least twice as hard as any southerners. And I'm sorry, guys, if you're watching this, it's true. You wash your feet in champagne down south. They literally give money away on the streets. If you live in London, they just give you money just for being there.
Well, I mean,
you've got to earn it twice as hard because they begrudge it you.
I mean, you do like having a good time though in Sheffield, because I did see a news article that it's the UK dogging capital. So it sounds like the COVID lockdown is really, it's promoted extracurritor activity. So I don't know how much you're contributing to that.
Don't go dogging. I ain't got the energy. I'm working too hard.
But what about now? Listen, you do enjoy some fly tipping, though. Is that not something that you've dumped a mattress in a back in some kind of a forest somewhere, or
a mattress I've owned for 47 years?
But you have planned where you're gonna fly tip this mattress, right? It is something that's well. This is I'm stunned. I personally.
So what I will do is I'll burn it and to gather the heat from it, because we can't afford to have the heating on.
Well, I mean, theoretically, you could work two things into one, because you could drag the mattress to a kind of like a lay-by or something like that. Throw it on the ground, dogging. Burn the mat. You see, you could work. I
don't know what your idea of dogging is, but that would be posh dogging, wouldn't it? If you got a mattress, I thought it was just turning up in some dark corner of some industrial estate in your Lada or your Nissan Micra and banging away at your wife while 5 weird blokes jerked off at your windscreen. Or is dogging different in Canada?
We don't have it. It doesn't. We don't have it here. It hasn't. No, it hasn't imported yet. You've got to go to specialty stores to get it here.
It's something that I've not embraced and don't intend to, because no, you don't want to do that. Do you? What's wrong with you? If you want someone to basically live stream knocking one out, just live stream knocking a mix out, as we'd call it. And the world can be a dogging site. Everyone would watch you knock one out. If that's to get you off, oh, look at that.
Yeah. Yes. I mean, the thing is it would bring us all together. And
I don't like the way this stream's gone. Can I just say, if you've just tuned in, it's saying knowing me, knowing you. I don't dog. This is a subject that he's brought up.
Well, you haven't specifically denied doing it. So I mean, you've kind of glossed over the whole subject.
If anything, I pussy.
You've rushed me along out of this. It's kind of suspicious, but other than that, I mean, really,
he did not say. I can't know which way to point. He did not say dogging would be a subject.
Well, that's the thing. Is it just came up? It just came up, and I mean, just think. If it wasn't for people like you, Sheffield would be number 2 on the list. So
people like me. Anyway, what did you do this week?
Well, I've just this is the last day of my 3 days off, so that's pretty exciting. Because
I knew it.
I've uh, I've cut my hours at work to 32 hours, so that I can have more time to prepare for my eventual moving out of town. And so it's I've worked, which is a night shift job, which is terrible. So everybody don't do that. Don't work in a night shift job because it's awful. You end up looking like this, which is it's not that good. Ragged.
Any job going?
Well, there will be soon.
Wait, like I do. We look like this.
Yeah, there will be soon. Trust me. There's a position opening quite soon.
Quite soon, yeah.
Yeah. But I've gone for a few long walks and taken photos out in nature, which is my want. It's the kind of thing I need to clear my head because there's a lot of stuff going on and up in the old brain case up there that I really need to sort out. And so what I do is I relax and chill out, watch some TV. I play games with my
dream.
Yeah, I play games with a group of people on the internet. We use the internet connection in order to play games together, which is
a group of people.
Well, they're all in the chat except for Brandy. She's not in the chat.
Why can't I see the chat?
Well, that's
are you shielding me?
for that's a $4.99 thing on my OnlyFans. You have to subscribe to that. Now you may get some suggestive content mixed in with that, but
there's private chat and then I've got comments. If I clicked on the comments thing, could I see them?
There
we go. Yes, we've got Highlander, we've got Giles. Where have you gone? Where have you gone, Giles? You sort of, I'm missing my, dick pic.
Well, this is the thing. He's one of the people that I play video games with on the internet. Is Evo Ailer?
The inner circle.
It's the inner circle. Him, Walt, the Highlander, and of course Katkin, my lovely ex-girlfriend, who's living elsewhere now on an island somewhere. So, but we still.
None of my crew.
Well, your crew? No. You see, that's the thing, is that there was the schism. As it was, there was the schism back in the day where the two groups broke off from each other. It was I
wasn't aware of this. Was I drunk?
Very much so.
Okay.
Very much so. And the two groups split, and I remained here in Canada with a few stragglers, kind of like misfits from the gaming community. We have our spies. Walt still talks to some of the people, and he tells us all about what they're doing. But people like me, Giles, and Katkin, we were exiled, basically. We turned into hermits. I had to sleep on a mossy stone for 4 years in a cave before Walt and Giles would even talk to me.
Well, I have to say, Giles does look like a cave dweller. I'm sorry. Sorry, I don't mean that in a derogatory way.
He's Welsh, so I mean,
hey, listen,
you're not far off. You're not far off.
Country. But he had a very dry sense of humor, Giles, which is very akin to the Yorkshire kind of sense of humor. Very dry, very direct. If you thought you were a wanker, you would know it.
Oh, he's a gentle giant, really.
Come on, I mean, Wowzer. Am I pronouncing that right? By the way, do we pronounce the W?
Well, I mean, we do. Sometimes we do, and sometimes we don't. It really depends on how we feel. We usually call him just Walt.
Walt. I've got images of some old guy whittling on his, porch. Hi, Walter. You're whittling, Walter. No. It's very windswept and interesting.
He's asked you a question. Is your is his artwork still on your wall?
No.
Or no, Giles' artwork.
No, what I'm going to do is I'm going to, because they were all in individual frames.
Right.
Before. So, yeah, I've still got them. I've still got them. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to put them, I want them mounting in a larger frame. So they're all being one frame, and that they'll go back on the wall.
So the answer, of course, that we've established is no, they're not on your wall.
They're not on my wall, but they will return. They're in limbo currently, but they're being reimagined. They're awesome, actually. They are some of the bits I treasure actually from back in day. So yeah, he did an awesome job of those, and he captured it perfectly. And in fact, he won that competition, if you remember, with his little animation. I did a competition on the channel where, I don't know, gave away something. I think he got, was it a Super Famicom voucher? I think I gave him a Super Famicom for that. It was one of my bribery things, the bribery.
Oh yeah, no. I know all about that.
Basically, yeah. I said I want to give something away. It was 500 subs? Might have been 500 subs.
Oh, yeah, seems like only yesterday.
I basically asked for content because I'm a whore for intros and stuff. I mean, you even did me one back in the day. I'm yet to convince you to do me another one. You need to compose me a new song for this new channel. And Wouter did that artwork. They were the stills from the animation that he did, and he won it hands down. It was awesome.
Yeah,
Wouter, yes, they will return.
Well, there you go. See, look at that. We've answered a viewer question. I mean, the chat is basically being spammed by Giles, who's he's got nothing else to do. He's in Wales, right? So it's a complete lockdown. He's in a shed right now. I think that he's in a shed.
What's he running off at the mouth for? Come on. I found you in the bush. They're in the bin. Like a bin shaped friend. What's he talking about? It's just noise.
Well, that's no different than the usual conversation we have.
I hope he's thirsty. He's thirsty, Joe.
No, he doesn't drink anymore.
He doesn't drink.
No.
Why? What's wrong with him?
No, I've been trying.
I did October. I'm on his 9 days. Which was
I saw that. I did see that you were trying to.
It was a proper fail for me. But I'm not drinking in the week.
Oh well.
Apart from Friday.
Yeah.
In the week.
To pay after work, then no.
Anyway, it's bollocks. I'm drinking. There you go.
Okay.
Next question.
Okay. Here's the next super topic. What are you playing at?
Gunbird. That's all I've been playing all week. I'm trying to get past the 3rd level. So I did a bit of gameplay, as I've said, on my channel. There will be some next week. So yeah, that's the only game I've had a chance to play. I was going to start Shenmue 2 last weekend, and certain private things happened, father-in-law things that we had to deal with, and it just didn't happen. So yeah, that's my next long play game that I intend to do. It's my good friend Dahl, gifted me Shenmue 1 and 2 for the PS4.
Oh my God.
I completed the first one, and it was a bit of a grind, I have to say. And he was, there was a whole letter involved as well. Sent me a letter with it. Great bloke, Dahl. Love him to bits. So yeah, he sent me that, and I completed the first one. Got quite into that, actually. Within the first few hours, I thought, I'm not going to be able to play this. It's not dated right well, and it's a bit of a grind. But once I got into the story of it all, it kind of drew me in, and I completed that. So what I want to do is I want to play Shenmue 3. It looks stunning, but I don't want to go in there without playing the first 2. So I want to do the chronological thing, and so I want to play Shenmue 2 next. But the shooters, as I say, I bought a few. But as I buy them, basically, I've just said in my video, you can build a physical EverDrive. If you have a huge collection, it's a physical EverDrive. It's just all the games are there, but they're there physically as well. So
right.
If you get an EverDrive, you spend an hour scrolling through it and then switch it off and watch some Netflix. So I want to play them one at a time, and I want to complete them. So this week I be mostly playing Gunbird.
Well, very nice. That's geez. About the Shenmue thing, did they fix the controls in the first Shenmue game?
I didn't mind it. I thought it was all right. Bear in mind, I played it on PS4.
Yeah, but did they? Because on the Dreamcast, it was completely wonky. Like the controls were completely wonky. It was like tank controls. You needed the shoulder buttons in order to walk around.
No, I didn't. It didn't annoy me at all. I know you're big on that, you know, being
Yeah.
annoyed. But
No.
no, I kind of just no, I didn't seem to struggle with it at all. Perhaps that's
Yeah.
just you, Jeremy. Perhaps you weren't
Well,
very good at the game.
well, I prefer to play games where the controls aren't, absolutely broken. So it's
No,
I
it wasn't a broken game.
and
Shenmue's
then
not a broken game.
and then I got up to the point where there was the
Sailor.
racist guy, and I was like, well, I don't think I'm going to play this.
Racist guy.
Yeah, the racist guy, the fake. What is he? He's some kind of salesman on the street, and he's like, isn't he like a fake Jamaican? But he's a white guy.
Hey man.
Yeah, that was really bad.
Hey,
That
man.
was talk
No,
about things.
he's not a fake Jamaican. He's an actual Jamaican chap.
I don't think my contrast on my screen must have been set a little bit odd because I was it didn't age well.
Were you RGB SCART? Were you playing it RGB SCART?
What? Yeah, no. Well, hold on. No, I think I had
it. You just plugged it into that hole in the side of your TV.
No, it was S Video. I had the S Video cables for my Dreamcast.
Video? No.
Yeah.
You sure it wasn't VGA? Because Dreamcast puts out a really good SVGA signal, but not all games are compatible.
Well, I had my Dreamcast for a few years in a box in a closet. I didn't really play it much because it was wank. So
into a mouse.
Yeah, yeah, that's right. Yeah. So it was. Oh my God. Free advertising. This is unbelievable, people. This is not. This is unprovoked. Unprovoked.
There you go.
Yeah, you see, look at that. You're spending money.
Consoles are available.
Yeah.
No, I didn't think it was broken, or anything. It was a bit of a grind, as I say. Like looking for sailors took me weeks, and I can usually find sailors pretty quick.
Wow.
So but we'll not go. That's a whole new story. But yeah, I had to get hold of Darl and say, where the fuck are these sailors? And there was a tiny little pair of steps going down in between two buildings where it didn't look like steps. How the fuck were you supposed to find that? You wouldn't have found it. And I was almost ready to quit because I'd been on that for like a week. And every time you talk to someone, they say, yeah, you need to go down here because that's where sailors hang out. I'm trying to fucking find them. Can't find the bastard sailors. Oh, maybe you need to go to the bar. And yeah, I know. I've been to all the bars. I've been to everything. But there's one little secret bit where you go down and you get the shit kicked out of you, or two guys trying to rough you up. And then you get in there and it opens up, and that's right. You can continue. It's a whole thing. It's a great game.
That's good. It sounds amazing. I love having things in games that are completely impossible to locate, and you have to ask your friends or go on the internet.
Well, that doesn't make it a broken game. It just makes it more of a challenge.
I mean, like I usually go down small staircases in between two buildings to get roughed up. So I mean,
yeah, you should have been perfect.
I would have found it right away. I would have been like, come here, I'll show you where I know where these guys are hanging out. Because
so what are you playing then? I don't know, some tortured 3DS sort of like first person parcel collecting game. I don't know what do you do.
Well, all my consoles are in a box.
Packed away, ready for the move.
Yeah, they're packed away. But I mean, I wasn't really playing on consoles anyway. I usually play on the PC. So I play a lot of. We're playing like Arma 3 most of the time. That's a military simulation shooting game, and it's very strategic. There's a lot of hiding in a bush, a lot of aiming at people with a gun. It's more or less just to, it's team building. It's a team building exercise, really. And I'll tell you, when you're hiding in a bush with, Walt and Giles and Brandy, and
shouting at me actually in the comments. He's saying he's going to stop commenting. Well, hey, we've got Optimus Wilbur reviews in the house. Hello, new subscriber. How are you doing, Wilbur? Good man.
Yeah, Wilbur's a good guy. He's part of the Transformers community that
Yeah.
I've been slowly welcomed into, and so he's an awesome guy. He's the one that gave the question for this week. So I was going to mention that when we got to it. You know, the question that we don't really have an answer for, but we'll wing it.
We'll try.
Yeah. No, we thought about it for a long time, and I put a lot of thought.
Previously, Apple.
No, it's in fact this is I'm springing it on you in a few when we get to it, it'll be a complete surprise to you. So about that dog,
I should have had a 6-pack, really, shouldn't I? I've drank those 3 beers.
Oh God, this is the thing. You're not gonna have to take a piss break because you're old goddamn fucking old man bladder, are you?
Maybe we'll see.
Well, you should just have a 2-liter. Have a 2-liter bottle there beside the old table. Just give, yeah, you know, I won't.
That's not going to come over really well, is it? You know, Dad empties his catheter halfway through.
It has to be done. I mean, this is the thing. This isn't called, you know, the Spry Youngsters podcast. I mean, it's the word "old" is in it. So I mean, it's like
I'm like a camel. I'll be fine.
Well, because you're a hunchback, or are you?
I'm a dromedary. I'm fine. Don't worry about it.
Right. Well, I mean, that's yeah. And other than Arma, what else have I been playing? Like once I move and shit like that, I'm gonna get back to streaming on Twitch. So I mean, like, there's a bunch of games that I want to play, but really at the moment, like, it's basically just PC bullshit. I was playing No Man's Sky on PC. That's it's fun, but it's hard slogging because it's
the most overhyped game in the history of gaming.
Yeah, the game that took 2 years to actually become a real game, like after they've patched it a million times. But it is just basically it's resource management. So like it's. You know, I
don't want to come home and put a game on and then start working. I mean, that was the thing. I was making jokes about Shenmue when I was at the forklift stage. I actually do have a forklift license, and I do quite like driving a forklift. But I'm not going to fucking drive a forklift in a game for like hours.
Well,
unlock something, you know, you've got to get those boxes and take them over there. And I'm like, I've got a fucking Saturday job. I'm driving a fork truck on a Saturday morning. What the fuck's going on?
I mean, I've never driven a forklift, so I mean, this is the kind of thing where
it's fun. You should try it.
Yeah. Oh well. Yeah. I'll work that into my busy schedule. Then I'll.
Your schedule of doing fuck all for the next few months.
Well, it's not fuck all. It's just
winning the lottery. You're just going to change your life and disappear, and take some pictures of a tree, and then maybe go out for a meal with Danny, and then just loll about, and yeah.
There will be a lot of pictures of me sitting on my patio drinking a coffee with my feet up.
That's a phrase, a British phrase. If someone said to you, "Jammy bastard," what would that mean?
Like that I've like kind of, is it like fucking figured it out kind of shit?
You're lucky, yeah. Lucky means you fucking jammy bastard. So you've done well there. Someone calls you jammy, it means that one, they're jealous of what you've done and they wish they'd done it. And two, that you've made it, you got it sorted. Yeah.
Well, it took a lot of work. I was just someone commented on my video, my video where I've decided to sell everything, and I made the video, and they're like, I rewatched it this morning, and it was like, holy shit! Like, I have the exact same mindset 3 years ago or 4 years ago that I do right now. Like, it hasn't changed. And that's the whole thing with making a plan, is that it's a plan can be very fluid as long as the end result is the same. You know, it's how you get there, right?
Mate, that's total focus. And obviously I've had total focus from the minute I started this YouTube channel. Nothing's changed.
Oh no.
Everything's been the same and always will be. But no, I lose focus very quickly. Props to you, mate. Props to you. You've made it happen. Yeah.
It's hard work. It's hard work because there's always.
Stop commenting now, mate. They've all gone away because we're talking to each other, and you're not. You see, you're ignoring the comment section. If you want to go live,
I'm not ignoring the comment section. I mean, this is the thing.
But
like,
you're not really addressing them. So if you want to go live, these people turn up. They want to engage. If we're not engaging them, this might as well not be a live video. Am I wrong, guys? Come on, tell me if I'm wrong. They've gone.
They haven't. No, there's 7 people watching, unless most of them have gone comatose by now. I mean, I know 3 of them are probably comatose.
How many are watching?
Anyway.
How many watches have we got?
It says
how many thousand watches have we got?
7,000, I think, are watching.
That's right, isn't it? That's a successful stream.
Yeah, I mean, I have paid for 6,500 Russian bots. So
yeah, so there's a room somewhere in China with loads of mobiles hooked into a server where we're getting lots and lots of views.
Oh yeah, no, we're really
$30.
Yeah. Well, the thing is when you check the demographics of the video afterwards, and we're really popular with 8-year-old Chinese children. It's
again, you're going there, aren't you? You can't do that. I come from Rotherham. It's the fucking pedo capital of the world. Honestly, it fucking is. There's that many fucking pedophile rings in Rotherham. You just trip over them on the way to the shops. It's fucking brutal. But no, you don't say that sort of thing.
Do they know what
Wilbur's saying? He's gone for a vape. I don't know, but I think vaping is a good thing. If you're trying to quit smoking, I think vaping is like a step away. You can do that sort of thing. Public information.
I should. Thanks for that. That public service announcement. I mean, this is the thing. Everyone's been waiting for you to endorse vaping. I mean, this is really you've been sitting on the fence on it for a long time, and that's the thing with you is you're always right there in the middle, looking at both sides, and you're able to see both sides of every argument, and that's why you're the man of the people.
And on the fence, though.
Yeah, you're on the fence. You're always on the fence. You've been on the fence as long.
Fencing, basically.
Yes, you're fencing. It's quite nice. It's and this is the thing. It's earned you a lot of respect in the gaming community. I don't know. Not sure.
I'm not feeling that. Anyway, we'll move forward. So the guys have got bored. They've gone off playing their own games now. Giles is cooking. What are you cooking, Giles? Is it lamb? Organic is in Wales, or it'll be cheese on toast. Welsh rarebit.
Let me see what he's. Let me see. I'll take a guess. I'll take a guess what he's cooking.
Some sort of stew, isn't it? It's got to be.
Well, he doesn't like spending a lot of time cooking, so I would imagine it's something out of a box or a bag.
Is it a bean stew?
Yeah, he's
baked bean stew, which is basically baked beans.
It says potatoes. He's gone on. It's just taters at this point. It's on to the taters. But
God bless the potato, though. God bless the potato. What an invention that was.
And Walt's on the egg by the sounds of it.
Egg?
So yeah, it looks like Walt's on the egg.
Well, how are you preparing your egg, though? There's a myriad of ways to prepare an egg.
It comes prepared. It's in its own skin.
You can't suck it out of the shell.
Well, it's in the Netherlands, anyway.
Blowing is something, you can blow an egg, but you don't want to suck an egg.
It's $4.99 on my OnlyFans. Might be doing that, but let's see what else is going on. Okay, so that's good. So we know what we've been playing. You've been playing Gunbird.
Fucking nobody is here. It's a disaster.
There's tons of people here. They're all commenting. What do you mean nobody's here?
I've just got Giles and Walter and
listen. This you can't you can't think that you're gonna be like if you did this, sure, you've got all your posse there, and they'd be there.
I hope the fucking check's in the post. But you promised.
I leave that my accountant handles all the finances, so
you still got your crew of people handling.
Yeah, my accountant handles all of that, and he promises me that he's written the checks. The checks are there.
I know what it is, right? there are no Brits here. I mean, Giles is Welsh, so he doesn't work anyway. They're a nation of liggers. So, what it is everyone else is still at work. It's only 4:30, mate, here. They're all grafting. They've got at least another 2 hours of overtime at the mill.
But this is the thing. I'm on your schedule.
No, but I'm in the ivory tower, so I can finish early.
Right. So
I've reached that level of sort of command where I can say, I think I'll go home now and live stream with Jeremy.
So the thing is it doesn't matter what everyone else is doing. It's what's important.
That's why they're not here. That's what I'm saying. That's why they're not here. It's not that they're ignoring us.
Well, the thing is
here because they're grafting like fuck.
That last shitty video that we did got fucking 250 views. So I mean, like, surely to Christ, eventually this fucking stupid one will fucking get people watching.
250,000 views. What about my AdSense? Where's, I'm expecting cash from this. Why do you think I'm here? I'm not here for I'm here for the beer. You're telling me, we might have to rethink this whole thing. Anyway, let's just gloss over that. We'll talk about it after.
Yeah. Well, we'll work out. I mean, the contract's already been signed, so basically, you've unless you want your legs broken, you basically are you're fucked. So it's like, my accountant will come over and he'll have a word with you about the what you've agreed to and haven't agreed to. So
see, he's gone basic already. Giles, he's saying bumhole. Bumhole's nice to say, though. I like bumhole. You can really sell that. Oh, bumhole.
Yeah, well, he's got a certain group of topics that he likes to cover, and bumhole's one of them.
Well, he's well, as we said.
Well, it's oh yeah, here we go. Yeah, it's for sure. Okay, you're right.
Hype and love in the chat.
Hype and love in the chat for Daz, everyone. Yay. Come on, let's do this. Let's fill the chat with emojis. All three of you fucking bastards. Anyway, okay, so let's go on to another exciting
what's the next subject?
It's good. It's going to be a good one. This one I put a lot of thought into this. This morning.
While you explain what it is.
Okay. You're going to go rock a piss?
Yeah.
All right. Well, Daz is flexing his elderly bladder. Let's Jesus. Let's just talk about the next topic is going to be, here it is, next gen, everyone. So anyway, thanks to everyone that's here anyway. I mean, like, I know this is kind of impromptu and it got delayed a few times and shit like that, but it'll be happening more at a regular time when we can organize that, because, teething troubles, bullshit like that. It's not going to be perfect the first time. So, and most of the reason why it's all fucked up is it's Daz's fault. So, I mean, he's not here to defend himself. So, I mean, I guess it's not my problem, but it's Daz's fault. So we're going to be hitting on the old next gen. I know that what he's going to say, that he's not interested in it or whatever, like, so spoilers, but let's see what he says about it when he shows up. I'll get rid of it and I'll put it back up when he shows up. So it'll be like a surprise, pretend like we never talked about it. But hopefully, like I said, like, tell all your friends, or if you don't have any friends, scroll it on a bathroom wall, or you can put the link to this video on a piece of paper and tie it to a helium balloon and let it go. Anything's great, because we're all in the same game. Am I right?
Sorry about totally unprofessional of me. Well, this is my Friday evening.
Oh, see, look at this. It's I don't even know what day it is. It doesn't matter.
Friday morning, isn't it, over there?
Well, it's Friday morning, yeah, but I have to work tonight. So, I mean, it's kind of...
Jokes, man.
Just one day, and then I get Halloween off, and then I think I work the next day. And it's good, because I work the next day, and they're having a special meeting with the night crew, because apparently you know, but this new manager we have is a fucking dickhead. And he thinks that he needs to micromanage the night crew that's been working fine together for 4 years. So he wants to come in and mold us into his own fucking thing. Now he was texting me on my days off. So I was like, well, it's bullshit. And I'm like, eventually I told him, I don't want to fucking talk to you don't fucking message me on my days off. This is when I fucking relax. You're not my boss when I'm at home. You're only my boss when I'm at fucking work. So I blocked him on my I blocked him, and he fucking lost it. So apparently we're having a big meeting and they're going to discuss my insubordination.
What?
I know, right? If they need
in this country, if he was contacting you outside work, that's illegal. You can't do that
on his own phone, not even a work phone.
No,
that's a private issue, right? But the thing is, if they need a pen to write me up in my permanent record, they can use my four-banger here. They can pick a color, and then I'll provide the pen. Because remember, the place where I work, when I quit, they don't supply you with a fucking reference. So I don't give a shit what I do there. I can fucking
predict something.
But Monday's my last day at work.
Fucking ass and walk out.
Well, I mean, it's possible. I have been saying that I may no longer be working. But I'll see what he says.
Left, I think I'd be saying, do you know what, mate? Take this job and stick it up your fucking ass.
I mean, it is possible. I mean, like, it's not that I wasn't insubordinate. Because I certainly, I mean, I was a dick. I told him that like I never want to hear from him again on my days off, and that I'm sick and tired of getting told all the things that I'm doing wrong and none of the things I'm doing right. And I'm like, if you think we're that bad, hire an entire new night crew that does the things you want them to do. And I'm like, it's negative reinforcement to tell me that I keep doing shit wrong, and I've never heard in the last 4 years that I've done anything right.
Yeah.
And so blah blah blah, right? This guy micromanages. I mean, it's a fucking grocery store. This guy is he's like literally he's 4 foot tall and fucking he's got short man syndrome. He's a little fucking prick.
Oh, beautiful.
And I mean, like, I told him, I'm like, listen, it's good cop, bad cop. You talk to one guy, you're going to get good cop. I'm bad cop. I'm a whiny bitch, and I'm going to fucking tell you how I feel. So if he doesn't like it, I've asked them to fire me several times, and they said they're not going to do that. So, and because I'm wondering who's in charge at this point.
Yeah. Why don't you just fucking fire me? Well, we're not going to do that. Well, shut the fuck up.
Well, then shut the fuck up then. And then they're always complaining about shit that happened the day before, right? It's like, how come this didn't get done? And I'm like, well, whatever happened, the reason why it didn't get done. And then I ask him, I'm like, well, did it get done? And he's like, well, yes. I'm like, well, then what's the problem? It's already been done. So are we talking about something that happened in the past? It's like fucking ex-girlfriend shit. Remember 5 years ago when you looked at that chick in the fucking restaurant? Fuck off. Seriously, go fucking, fucking smoke my fucking, burp my worm.
I would say I would politely decline to enter into conversation outside my paid hours of work. If you would like to converse with me further, please do so at X o'clock on X day when I'm back in the office.
Yeah, well, bear in mind I do work. When I'm at work, there's nobody there but me and the
man. You can't ring you up on your day off and bitch about what's not happened. Just say, I'm trying to fucking sleep here because I'm due to be back in that shithole, soon, and I want to have a bit of energy for it. So if you don't mind, go and suck your dick, you fucking.
Yeah. Well, anyway, so that's a little bit of an aside. It's kind of bullshit, but I mean, this is the thing.
The last subject. What did you do this week?
Yeah, hold on here. Knowing me, knowing you. So we're back, everyone. Oh, the subject matter, but no. Yeah, so there's that. Like, that's the thing. Like, I'm not really looking forward to that because I hate these stupid meetings. Like, I've already bitched at him several times, but it's kind of like, this is what I have to put up with. And, I may just sit there and grin and not say anything because I think that's probably better than the actual.
Don't give any feedback at all. Just let them talk and then say, are we done?
Bye.
Yeah. Bye.
Gotta go, bitch. Okay, here we go. Next gen. how do you feel
Looking
about
forward to this question.
about the next generation of consoles, i.e., the PS5 and the Xbox Series X? What happens with Daz when he sees things like this happening as a video game, connoisseur, as it were? As an old school gamer who has been there since the very beginning, since the inception of home gaming. Now we're in this position, 2020 we're in, and we're getting a new generation of consoles, and it's all about the frame rate. It's all about the fucking shit, like fucking how many ray tracing and mega flops and terra dizzles and shit like that. How has the next generation affected a person who has lived gaming for the last 50 years and is now here in the present, which is the future of gaming, because they haven't come out yet? So what have you seen anything about these consoles, the new consoles, that you're like, Daz, here in Sheffield, am very interested in?
Fuck all. No, before I answer this question, with my vast years of experience and knowledge,
yeah,
as you say, we are the elder statesmen of the gaming community. We were there at the beginning. We'll be there at the end. And we may have dropped out now and again in the in between, but we've always had a finger in, haven't we?
I think that I have my finger in the gaming community. Yeah, I have my finger in. I've had my finger in the gaming community for the longest time. And that's the thing.
No, I think I like the new technology, and I like the fact that it's driving forward. I do. I think that things have slowed down, and I mentioned this, funnily enough, in one of my previous videos, if you'd like to go and watch that. The leaps forward have become smaller. So, now we get excited because the frame rate's a little better, or the resolution's a little better. But the one thing that has suffered, in my opinion, is the creativity. So what COD are we on now? Is it COD 20 billionth? I don't know. Yeah, the kind of and I'd blame Nintendo for this, because Nintendo's IPs are like 4 IPs and they just keep churning it out with a new skin. But we buy it because it's great, because it's Nintendo. But no, I think the one thing that's interested me recently is the VR thing. And just this week, actually, I was looking at the Oculus Quest 2 and thinking it's a compact thing. It's all in one. I've not got to spend $2,000 on a PC to run it, and the resolution's better than the PS4, and you don't get as much motion sickness from it, and blah 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 blah. And I'm thinking, yeah, maybe that's going to be a viable option moving forward. I'm kind of holding back a little bit, because I think the next generation on PS5 might just nail it. But me, I'm last gen all the way until it's as cheap as fucking chips on a sale day. Right. I don't want to go in balls deep with. I mean, I could buy an Oculus Quest 2 or a Saturn shooter. That's how crazy it is. So the newest piece of virtual technology tech is cheaper than one of my Saturn shooters. That's the whole, that's a different thing, isn't it? That's the nostalgia void. But no, I think I'm interested. I always like to see it moving forward. I only ever pre-ordered one console and bought it on launch date, and that was the PlayStation.
Right.
At the PS1, that was the only console I ever pre-ordered. And all the others, I mean, I bought a day one 360, I did get a 360 on day one, but I didn't pre-order it because there was 100 billion units available. It's not like Nintendo where they made 5 units available and then held them all back for 8 months until, you know, the fever was at real fucking pitch.
Right.
Release them like they do. But I'm always interested in the next gen, but I'm a little bit more reserved as to bailing in and shelling the cash out, especially these days, because they can't release a fucking completed game.
Right, exactly.
You have to have a 2 terabyte patch for the fucking game. So, you know, the console's basically going to fall to pieces in your hand and need a warranty claim and all the rest of it. No, I like to let these days, I like to let systems come out and find their way, fix the glitches, let everybody else beta test it. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. And then maybe 6 or 8 months later, then when there's a clear winner as well, because I'm not going to buy both. You know what I mean? I've always said this. I go to the system for the games I want to play. So if there's a particular game on Sony that I want to play, I'll buy that system. If there's a particular game on Xbox that I want to play, I'll buy that system. And so I'm loyal to the game. If anything, I'm not loyal to a brand. And you know, I kind of roll like that, me. But yeah, I'm always interested. I could be cynical and say, oh, modern technology is not like it used to be, and blah, blah, blah. That's bullshit. It's great. It really is. We've seen, like I say, I can remember the ZX81, and now we're looking at Xbox X and all the things it can do.
Right.
Wow, fucking wow. And I feel very privileged to be at the age I am now, where I'm still, you know, able to be interested. It's just, you know, I'm not scratching my head and what's this thing do? I can still operate it ish, and yeah, it's fantastic. I love new technology and I love pushing forward. But I think in recent times, maybe the leaps forward are smaller increments.
Yeah, well, that's what's been happening, is that it feels as if the releasing of new consoles happens closer and closer together with the previous generation, because the technology will increase, but the present hardware won't handle it, and what they think people's needs are or wants are in gaming. The big companies think, okay, well, shit, we need to compete with PC gaming, so we have to put out something that's as good. And the thing is like, it seems like they're just chasing a dream at this point, because like there's always PlayStation fanboys and Xbox fanboys that are gonna white knight this shit no matter what. They're gonna love it. They're gonna be like, oh, this is my thing. This is what I do. But the fact of the matter, it's like you said, the fact of the matter is, they're just jumping on a name, and they're going to have to deal with all the teething troubles of the fucking console for the first 6 months. Whereas we can. I don't pick, and like I'd buy the Xbox before I bought a PlayStation because I'm an Xbox guy. But that's just a case.
Why?
I don't know. I've had more fun with Xbox than I have had with PlayStation.
Oh, the games have been better for you on Xbox.
But these are all just it's all just based on fucking nostalgia in that case, where it's like when I got the original Xbox, I was shitting myself. I was like, this is the most amazing thing ever. I was playing the same fucking games that you can get for the most part on PlayStation, but I was playing them on Xbox. So I was driven to that as being the reason why I was enjoying the games was the console I bought. And I mean, you go to the 360, and the 360, you know, it did good things, but the consoles were like, who's confident enough to buy a used 360? Nobody's gonna fucking buy a used 360 and think this thing's not gonna fucking red ring on me, right? Like
my fucking day one 360, it's going strong. It's probably the only one in existence. £10,000 because it never died. I've got the fucking ever-living 360. But no, I don't know about that. I think you can get, like, from Xbox, I was the same. So original X, I didn't go PS2. I didn't have any of that generation. But Xbox got me back in because I saw something in Xbox that was different. Maybe it was more of a PC gaming, experience with Halo.
Mm-hmm.
I just looked at it and I thought it was such a leap forward from what I'd had previously. That I got into it and it was there for that. And I think maybe I went to 360 because of the Xbox. But now I own a PS3. I can see that there were some games on that there's some great games on PS3, some great exclusive games on PS3. You cannot take that away from it.
Yeah.
But because I had a 360, I didn't want multiple systems of that generation, that I missed out on a lot of it. But it's there now. But
Yeah, but
I think maybe that's the thing. They always they have their killer apps. They've got their IPs. They've got their Gears games, or you've got your Last of Us games, or whatever. You've got your CODs or whatever it's going to be on. So the multi-format games tend to be. It doesn't really matter about the multi-format games because they're multi-format, unless one of those systems is really, really far ahead of the other one.
Right.
And it's interesting that we get, that the kind of spec war, where it's got this amount of RAM, or it's got that chip in it, or this or that or the other. Well, for me, it's just about games, and if the games are the ones I want to play on that system, then that's what I'll go for. I think they missed that as well. I think, well, do they? I don't know. I think they rely on their IPs a lot. Like Nintendo have done that all along. They rely on Mario. They rely on Zelda. They rely on those IPs because any real hard fan, they know they've got an instant audience that's going to buy that regardless, because it's the next Mario game. It's the next Zelda game. That's what they've played since the year dot. Since NES, people have been playing Zelda games. They're going to keep buying it.
Well,
but I think that makes them lazy as well. But Nintendo tends to innovate in other ways, don't they? They're all trying to. We're going to have a Nintendo hula hoop, aren't we? Eventually.
Well, they don't follow the trend of regular console release. They create their own shit, and they they fucking stand by their shit. So they're able. Nintendo's a special breed of cat because they just do their own thing. They don't listen to fucking anybody else. The whole Nintendo fucking community thing is that they can't do anything wrong. Like, you show a logo on a fucking Nintendo fucking preview show or whatever, one of those Nintendo Direct, just a logo. People shit their pants. They're literally because Nintendo can't do anything wrong, and they have that horrible, this is the thing, they have that horrible false economy of Nintendo games where, oh no, Nintendo games are always worth like $70. They're never on sale, and because everybody believes that, it's true. It always comes to pass and Nintendo's like, well, we never have to put a game on sale because people fucking buy it regardless. They'll buy it fucking regardless. And it's the fanboy nature of the Nintendo is just they're a law unto themselves. They're a separate island completely. The only PlayStation and Xbox are the only two competitors with each other. They can't. There's no point in competing with Nintendo. There's no point. It's just a different thing. It's like an apple competing with the fucking orange. It doesn't make sense. It's like
It's almost like they're like off on their own sort of thing. They're like, they're the untouchable sort of pinnacle. So those guys, we'll let those guys fight over there amongst the scraps that are left, and we'll carry on. But I don't know. I mean, we said that, didn't we, with Sega and Nintendo? Back in the day, that was like an unstoppable war. It was just those two. But then Sony came in and really kicked it up the arse.
Yeah.
And I suppose Xbox has done that with Sony. So now you've got Sega are no longer an entity, okay, so they make some games still, but they're a third-party developer, aren't they, at this point? And I don't know if they ever think about dipping the toe back in. Probably not. But it's kind of, I wouldn't say next gen is stale, but it's very samey, isn't it? It's getting very samey. So I don't know. I think we need a new player.
But the thing is with the fact is like they're trying to make consoles to match like PC level gaming, and eventually they're just going to be what's the
Aren't we there
difference?
really?
Well,
Aren't
no,
we there
we
really? You
for the
know,
most
so,
part.
so back in the day it was arcade at home. So now we want PC on a console. But they're like mini PCs, aren't they, these days? They've got such processing power. They really have. And the thing is, there's nothing in a PC that you couldn't put in a console. You know, they have that technology, they've got it, but they're trying to keep the price points down all the time. So it's
Yeah,
more of a compact thing. It's not a broad thing like a PC would be, like a top spec PC, gaming machine now. You're talking a fair few £1,000, aren't you? But they've got to keep it at around $599, $499, haven't they?
right.
To keep it around that price point. So the technology, like memory, is expensive, and the technology, they're kind of always going to be. I think that I don't know. I don't think they'll ever get to be PC quality because they'll never get that unless they could get there, but it costs you $1,000 for the PS6.
Right. No, exactly.
You
And
know?
I mean, what used to drive console sales was exclusives, right? Like your Uncharted's or your Halos, right?
Yeah.
And the thing is, nowadays, like this is an issue that happened to me is that I was like, they showed on Microsoft, they showed the fucking, the Xbox, what's going to be released on the Xbox X, and I'm like, oh, this is great. Some of these games look really good, and then at the very end they showed the Fable logo come up on the screen, the Fable
You
teaser,
went,
and I'm like, I know, I was like, this is the best. I love that IP. It's one of my favorite games ever,
yeah.
and like for them to even just show this is it. They're banking on this. And then I saw the thing and I'm like, oh, this is great. I'm gonna buy an Xbox. This is it. It's bottom line. They've got my money now. And then I remembered, I was like, oh, hold on a second. So I watched the trailer again and it says Xbox One X, PC, and they lost my sale because if it's on the PC, why the fuck do I need to buy an Xbox? They're cutting off they're banking on the IP more than they're banking on a console seller, right? If they made
They're
it
all guilty of doing that. They're all guilty of doing that. So they're going to, they're going to release COD 15. They're going to release FIFA 36. Because it's almost like, imagine if there were like 20 fucking Jurassic Park films. It's like that's the way I look at it. I look at games now like interactive experiences, which was what a movie is for me anyway, because I interact, I'm shouting at the screen.
right.
So yeah, they're just an interactive experience. So, and they know it's kind of lazy third party gaming, isn't it? That they know that we have this like dead set, number of community that are gonna buy this, so we'll produce it because we know that we'll profit on it. So that's lazy for me. That's like, we're gonna. I mean, how it. I don't know. I won't buy that many iterations of a game. It's just, I don't know. It's just a reskin after reskin. And it's really lazy. I say we've grown up, playing stuff that innovated, and the next game was the next big game because it innovated a bit, or it pushed the envelope. So now we're in a position where we're not really pushing the envelope graphically. We're pushing the envelope story based maybe, and kind of hooking people into that, or hooking people into it's like Harry Potter almost. You want to see what happens next, sort of thing. It's because it's media now it's almost like all the other media types. They're looking at hooking you in some other way. And for me that like sort of stifles creativity, and it stifles moving forward, which is why we're not really pushing that hard anymore.
Well, I mean, they've lost the plot with what people like, in that, like, in the beginning, the open world kind of adventure games, like Assassin's Creed or whatever, they were innovative because you're like, holy cow, there's so much to do. The maps are so big. This is so great. You had fun doing the exploration and shit like that. And then eventually, as more games in the series come out and different games like that, like the Far Cries and shit like that, they're like, okay, well, if you like this, let's make the map bigger. Let's make more side quests. Let's make more of this. And they're guilty now of just creating a bloated mess where you buy a game that's too big to play. You become bogged down in the bullshit, and you can't. You're no longer having fun because, like you said earlier, it's a fucking job. You're like, oh shit, now I have to go here. Now I have to go here. I have to do this. And in between that, you're still trying to level up your character, so you have to do the bullshit as well. So it's like you've got
to buy that extra bit, and you've got to have the dance, and you've got to have the outfit, and what the fuck's that all about? You know, see, when did extra content and DLC become a fucking jacket for your character?
Yeah.
That is insanity. That's not gaming.
No,
that's accessorizing.
And I mean, when I was first playing through the Assassin's Creed games, and you sign up for that Ubisoft fucking thing, you're on whatever it's called, Ubisoft fucking website or whatever, and I'd buy a new Assassin's Creed game and log in, and then I'd log into Ubisoft Uplay or whatever it's called, and they'd be like, oh, you finished the last fucking 4 games. Well, here's a hat, or here's a fucking coat. And I'm like, oh, that's great. Look, I can start the game with a different coat on. Like when the games were small enough that, you spend a week and a half and you finish it, that's fine, because it's like, oh, look, you feel kind of like part of an exclusive club. But now when you've got to work for it or pay for it, like work for it to the point where like you fucking almost have to, you've got to run 10,000 miles in the game to acquire, oh, the hats here, the coats here, this, you're doing more work than is pleasurable in the game. Like I keep going back to Assassin's Creed fucking Odyssey, and I go in and I'm like, oh, I'm going to play it. And I play it for a fucking week, and I get nowhere because the game is bloated to the point where you can't fucking get, and it's literally, they level you out of certain areas. It's like, oh, everyone in this area is level fucking 30. You're level 20, you're dead. So you got to level up by going around and like, you know what you got to do? You got to go fucking knock that fucking, the guy stole my bread. You got to fucking go get my bread back. I'm like, I'm fucking saving the earth. Like the earth is going to be destroyed, and I got to go get your bread. Fuck.
I'm so glad I'm not playing that game.
Well, but this is the thing. Like in the beginning, those games were they made us think that was what the future of gaming should be, right? And then you get games like Uncharted, where you're like, every memory that everyone ever has of Uncharted is like, that's a great game. Those are great games. It's the story is so amazing. The fucking dialogue is so amazing. The voice acting is so amazing, and it's an on-rail shooter. It's basically, you're in a fucking box, and there's things in front of you to cover mechanic on.
That. I don't want too much.
But you forget
too much. Yeah, I can't handle too much.
No, I know, but you forget that it is basically an on-rail shooter because it's so good everywhere else. They fucking distract you with bright lights and great dialogue and great story. Yeah. So you're like, oh my God, those games were fucking amazing. Like I finished Uncharted 2. I can't remember. It's 2 in like 8 hours. I literally sat down and just played it right through. It was like watching a movie. Now, I mean, if that was a $60 game on release, I don't even know if I would have been pissed off at that point. But now, like, they won't even, the Uncharted IP's dead, so they can't fucking use that. They're just trying to produce things that, like, bigger isn't always better.
Yeah.
And, better graphics is better because, we're fucking getting more snobby and 4K and blah, blah, blah. We need that shit. But
it just ties into the whole too much to do thing.
Yeah.
So, and too many games to play thing. So it's the same thing. If you've got too much to do in that one, see, they want you hooked in, and they want you sticking with that one game for a year, and they want
exactly
new DLC each month, and they want you to basically dedicate your life to that one game for every spare hour in your life. And I'm from a different generation to that. I don't think I could be that invested in a game. The last game I was that invested in, to the point where not that I was buying loads of shit, but to the point where I didn't play anything else, was Last of Us. But
Right.
that the story, it was like a good book.
Yeah.
That's
Exactly.
the way I see a game now, or modern game, is if it's like a good book. I'm invested in the characters within that story. I want to know where they're going. I want to know what's going to happen next. That's the hook for me, not the fact that it's big and huge and I can spend a week walking around some desert looking for a loaf of bread. I'm sorry, but fuck off.
Yeah, no, exactly.
Time is more important than that. But if there's no continuation to the story within that, I'm out.
Well, it's all glitz and glam. Like that's the thing with Assassin's Creed Odyssey. Like it's all glitz and glam. It looks amazing. When you're in that game, you're like, fuck, there's no like repeated shit in the game. It's like these cities are all completely different. There's different
Jay's in the room. How are we doing, Jay? Sorry.
That's okay. Yeah, no, it's nice. See, look at that.
Yay.
But the thing is you know, it's putting lipstick on a pig at that point. You're fucking
That's a totally different hobby.
It looks great and everything, but it's hollow inside, right?
Yeah, it's just fucking meaningless.
It's wash, rinse, repeat.
3 hours for fuck all.
Yeah, it's wash, rinse, repeat. You're just like, you know,
like you say, it's a job. It becomes a job to get to the next level. Games are about, I don't want to come home and start working again. The grind, that's the thing. The grind. I've never understood grinding in a game. If I'm grinding, I'm out. I don't want to fucking grind. I've had enough of that in my daily life. It's a grind in daily life. I don't want to get into a game and start having to work to achieve something. Okay, if I'm achieving something because my skill level's got to a point where I can unlock that part, or I achieve, you know, something because I managed to, you know, get something done, fine. But I don't want to start, you know, I'm not walking miles. I'm not collecting pointless items and shit just to get to another level. Fuck that.
Yeah, I mean, like, you know, Red Dead Redemption was a really good game. I really love that game. It's a great storyline. It was a great fucking great characters in the game. Great like side quests were all fucking. There weren't a billion of them. They were. It was a really good game. And then you get Red Dead Redemption 2 suffering from that fucking bloat where it's like, well, you got to level up your horse brush because your horse doesn't like you. What the fuck, are you on drugs? Like seriously? Like no, I don't need to do that. Like, that's one thing. You don't need to add that mechanic into a game. Yeah. It's like, oh, you got to shave your beard because
it's not a gameplay element.
People don't trust you because you got a beard. You got to shave your beard now. I got to go back to camp and shave my beard. You're getting tired and hungry. You better go back to camp and have some beans or something. Fuck off. What are you talking about? Can't I just... I can't recall the last time I needed to shave in a game.
Wouter says he loves grinding.
Yeah, well,
grinder.
Yeah, that's a different thing. You know, it's different there in the Netherlands. It's a translation issue that we're doing. Yeah. But yeah, like it's. I don't know what they hope to achieve by making bigger games. It's who's happy. Yeah,
that's what they're going to do. They're going to suck up more of your time.
And here, like the thing is, you know, I paid like $50 or whatever for Assassin's Creed Odyssey. Now I'll tell you, that game it's worth $50. There's $50 worth of content in that game. No problem. The problem is it's nickel and dimed to you to the point where you're like, oh, this is a 10-cent side quest. Here's, you know, like I had to pay 50 cents for this one, so now I'm in the hole. Like you're always nickel and diming it, and it's like I don't even know if you could like just do the storyline in the game. You wouldn't be strong enough to. It's like, well, now you got to go fight this level 40 guy who's going to one-shot you, and so what you have to do is go around and, you know, pike a bunch of people in the fucking stomach for 4 hours in order, you know, for you to do something. And like Jay
says we're old, so he's put next gen. I've got my PS5 coming regardless. It's no major step up, but I'm all in. Unfortunately, games are story based, and we're not getting away from that now. Fact of the matter is, we're old. No, I think okay, we're old, and okay, things are story based. But like Jeremy says, don't fucking send me off for a quest for a loaf of bread for a week, or you know, mow this field of corn, or fucking Nah, that's not gameplay, is it? That's a job to do. It's for me. That's lazy. It's lazy shit.
It is. It's lazy game making in that they're just they they think
We'll
that
get 2 hours out of this. We can say it's a 45-hour game because 40 of those hours you're looking for stones.
yeah, no, exactly. I've done that. I've done that.
More fool you, I've not.
Yeah, I mean and it felt like I was achieving something at the time. I mean, like halfway into the fucking Assassin's Creed series, I knew that they were filling the game with bullshit because I was like, I'm fucking. Everyone knows who I am in this fucking game. I'm here to save the earth from these fucking people who want to destroy everything. And like, and then this lady's like, my husband's cheating on me. Go beat him up. I'm like, what? What do you want me to do now? Like, your husband's cheating on you. I don't know you. I've never met you. Your husband's cheating on you.
A good side quest would be, will you cheat on me? Will you cheat on my husband with me? Yeah, I'll go for that.
I believe that was even a thing. I was banging fucking prostitutes in one of the games. So, I mean, like, as a side quest, like, as part of a thing where it's like, you got to get the
trophy.
Yeah, I mean, like,
achieved.
Fortunately, that was just button mashing the A button. So, that was a one-handed event. It was just I could play that part with one hand, which was helpful. I mean, it was
years of practice.
Yeah, years of practice. I mean,
you got that trophy in 30 seconds.
Am I winning?
Achieved.
Yeah. No shit, dude. I got it. 30 seconds. I maxed out the bar there. But yeah, I mean,
required.
And I mean, that's the thing. Like Last of Us, it's another situation where I only remember that game being awesome, but it's another situation where it's literally an on-rail shooter. They give you a fucking path to go.
You need a little bit of you need to be guided through.
But you can't go off the map. You can't be like, I'm going to go up that mountain. Yeah, good luck with that. There's a fence there. It's like this much too high to get over. You're not.
Sorry, there's some mist in the corner of the screen there.
Yeah, no. But I mean,
I'm used to that. I grew up with that. I had an N64.
Oh, so yeah, sure.
You can't go there because it's too misty. And
yeah,
you can't go there because it's just go forward where it's clear.
That slope is 1 pixel too fucking steep for you to climb up. That ain't happening.
Yeah. But then again, what's wrong with that?
No, it's fine. It's
How
fine.
How do you want it to be? If it's like we're going to build this game, and there's a quest that you can do, or you can wander off into the wilderness and spend all your life, weeding through fucking shrubs and trees, or into this city where there's like loads of things to do. That's not the game. You know what I mean? It's like they'll eventually get to the point where we build the game Planet Earth.
Yeah.
And it'll be the Matrix. So you'll basically live a life inside the game, and you'll be able to do anything and everything. It'll be that big a sandbox that it will be the globe, and you'll not play the game. You'll just be in the game.
Yeah. You'll have your VR helmet on, and you'll just be wasting away. You'll be sitting there in a fucking pool of your own filth and being a rock star in the fucking VR.
So the game will become whatever you want it to be.
Yeah, but I mean, this is the thing.
The future.
You go, like, for a game like Minecraft, I played hours and hours of Minecraft, days, weeks, months, years. I go always, every once in a while, I'll go back into it. And the thing is that game, it's a survival horror game. You need to have food, you need to build your own house, you need to fucking mine for shit. You need to do that. But the thing is it's weird because it's one of those games where I don't mind that slog, because every time you play it, it's procedurally generated. So everything's different. You never know where you're going to end up. You never know what's going to be around you. You don't know what's down in the cave. You don't know what's around every corner. There's no strategy guide you can fucking look at. The game is whatever you want to make it. It builds. Yeah, you are the game. You make that game whatever you want. Like, if you want to be a vegetarian in the game, you can do that. If you want to make there's 10,000 mods for the game, so you can go into space, you can fucking build all kinds of, nuclear power, whatever you want. And the thing is, so you're only limited by your own fucking imagination. So that's
one of Lego in a game.
That's what they say, right? And I mean, I'll I'll always go back to that game, and there's certain moments that I remember in gaming where like I'm just sitting there mining or like watering my plants or building shit, and I'm like, it's so quiet. Yeah, I've got my cows in my thing, and I'm sitting there, and I'm like, it was so relaxing, and there was no pressure. There's a little bit of pressure if you want there to be, but there's no pressure to fucking, it's like you can start and stop whenever you want. Nobody's there like to fucking tell you to go because someone's stolen their loaf of bread, and fuck you got to do a million quests. Your quests are all in your own head, and so that's a game where it's like they did it right because they're like, here's the game, you figure it out, you do your whatever you need to do in here. We're not telling you what to do. There's the game, do it. Do whatever. I don't care. If you die, it doesn't matter. Do it more. It's your sense of achievement comes from the level of like inner peace you get from playing the fucking game. It's really weird. It's a strange fucking. I can never say anything bad about it.
Seen this shoot 'em up I'm playing. you shoot things and they die or you die. That's it.
I gotta get my multicolored pen out. Is that the strategy guide?
But that's what you see now. It's almost like it's not a game anymore. It's like a life choice. Mm-hmm. It's like a lifestyle, So what game are you playing? I don't play a game. No, I don't play games. I have a lifestyle. I do. So I get home, I plug into this game, and I water my plants. All right, I've got a real garden outside where I water my plants. No, I don't think that's the thing. That with the next gen thing, I don't. That's not a game to me. It's work. It's not a game. That's what I'm saying. The whole grind thing it's just alien to me. I just don't. I don't get that. I never have. I don't get that. I've never got it. Having said that, maybe, as I get older and I've got more time, maybe I'll have time for grinding. But at this point, I've got 10 minutes to have a go on a shooter.
But that's the thing. Like when I was younger, playing Final Fantasy and shit like that, I didn't mind running around and fucking killing the same fucking creatures over and over to level up to finish the game. And then all of a sudden I realized I've played a game for 200 hours and I've achieved fuck all. And it's, I finished the game, but did I really, like, how much of the game was me having fun and how much of the game was me forced into doing something so that I could have fun, right? Like, this was the thing.
Like, doing shit like every hour of the day, never mind in my spare time. So
yeah, I mean, I played Final Fantasy 1 through 5, and I put in, I think it was 6 that I put in, and I was playing the game. I'm like, oh yeah, this is fine. It's just it's different, and then all of a sudden, these old men in the game, they're like, oh, our crystals got stolen. I'm like, wait a minute, I just brought your crystals back in Final Fantasy 5. I put them on the pedestal. Like, what, they're gone again? Fuck you guys. I was like, forget, I'm out. I'm not finding your fucking crystals again. You gotta get. I just did this. I just did this. Yeah. They're gone.
The same game, you bastards.
Where'd they go? What do you mean? Lock the door. Lock the door. Like, I was like,
anything about security.
No, I know. Seriously, like, you need to start looking for these crystals. There's a canoe down at the lake. You got to come. I'm just like, no, fuck it. I gotta go. I'm so I literally, that was it. My Final Fantasy 6 about an hour in, and I'm like, nah, that's it. I'm done. You guys are fucked. I can't. I'm not gonna do your job for you over and over and over again. And and this is like, it's pointless to me. What did I win? Like, I'm just the gullible chump award at that point. It's like, oh, he's back. He's back again.
Trophy won.
Yeah. Like, I show up in the village. They're like, oh, fuck. Guess what? Oh,
let me. The guys that are programming that, though. Do you think there was one guy in the meeting that said, I think we've already done this. It hasn't already been done. The other guys went, shut up.
They're different crystals. They're different crystals.
Yeah.
One of them's green.
Aren't you telling everybody the same game? You're fired.
Yeah. Yeah, well, one of them's turquoise. They've never been a turquoise one before. That's completely different crystal.
Blockers here.
They're triangles.
People are going to get on board with this new game environment we're creating. We don't need the negativity. You're fired.
Yeah. No, exactly. I mean, this is it. I mean, maybe, you know, being old is there's a benefit in that, but grinding is not one of those things that I'm going to be fucking. I'm not spending, you know, my golden years going to find loaves of bread in an Assassin's Creed game.
You are, but in the real world.
Well, that's unfortunately, that's what I'm doing right now. So it's the worst. I fucked myself, you know.
So did we answer that question then? Did we answer the next gen question, or did we just ramble for half an hour about?
I don't know. That was good though.
What was the conclusion?
That we're right and everyone else is wrong. I think that's what I got out of that.
Is valid, but I'm not sure whether I said that. Yeah, I'm open to new things, but if I don't get mugged off and fucked in the bumhole for it. So we all know that you're just going to buy an Xbox because you're a fanboy.
Well, no, I'm not going to buy the Xbox because, like I said, the game. Well, no, the game that they're releasing is also on PC, and I've got like a $3,000 gaming PC, so I'm playing it on that. So they've lost $600.
That's what happened. You see, we lost you to the PC.
Yeah, that was the thing. Like consoles can go get wrecked as far as I'm concerned. I'm not fucking spending that kind of money on something. Like I can't remember the last time I turned my PS4 on.
Jay's gone. He's got to go.
But he's going
on a break at work. See, Jay works nights, so he's
going to watch the fucking rerun. So this is where we're going to get our fucking big time viewers, is all the fucking also rants that are like, oh, look, it's Daz and Jeremy. Well, it's Daz, you know, my favorite YouTuber of all time, and Jeremy. And they want
that, they'll go to my channel and watch my recent upload.
Well, there's no accounting for taste.
No, but you're quite right.
No, okay. Well, let's move to the final segment.
Thank God for that, because my bum has gone to sleep. My butt is numb.
Oh, you need to get out more.
I need a comfy chair for this shit.
Yeah, no, exactly. That's the thing. Is that, you know,
I'm just gonna go get a cushion.
God, he is.
I never fucking do it.
Because he's getting that inflatable ring that we've all heard about. Remember Daz's inflatable ring? Oh, I remember it as if it was only yesterday. Oh, that. Yeah. Okay, so here we go. Fuck it. Optimus Wilbur asked the question. Fucking yeah. Okay. This was top. It wasn't top 5. I had to fucking say this, but it was like best to worst. And I'm like, there's 150 consoles.
Yeah, I saw that question on the last video.
So we're going to have to do top 5, because seriously, like if I went down the list, it'd be like, and then, well, the PSP is number 14. What number am I at? Fuck.
Worst to best. Now, this has changed over the years because I've recently discovered rediscovered consoles in a new light. So it would be very easy for me to just go through my history and say worst to best. Well, they were all best because, you know, I bought the console at the time because that's the one I wanted and I wasn't disappointed with it. I got fun out of it and then I moved on to the next one. So there wasn't ever really a worst to best. If for me, this question's more your favorite, you know, 0 to 5. What's your favorite? What's the top? And what's at 0? You know what I mean? What 5 being the top of the pile? What do you think to that? Can I answer the question that way? Am I bending the rules?
Hold on a second here.
Who the fuck are you talking to?
I'm not talking to anyone there.
Well, you're blocking someone. 0 to 5.
Yeah, which is new. Yes, update.
No, but that's not really his question, is it?
Well, too late.
Oh no! You better go first because there's at least 3 hours for me on this.
So yeah, well, I mean, just get like, which ones exceeded your expectations and which ones didn't live up to your preconceived hype? Or
yeah, I'll just say then or now. It's changing. It's
well, of course, then or now. I mean, it would be completely different because when I was sitting there playing the N64 back in the day, I had a fucking rock hard boner. So, okay, but I mean, now if somebody,
obviously the ability of hindsight and everything that we know at this point, what would it be now? I think it's valid if we say 0 to 5 now. Do you think that's fair?
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. In retrospect,
Yeah.
if you, almost like, well, using, it's hard because if you use nostalgia as a guide, it's going to skew the fucking, it's going to skew the reality of the situation, right?
Yeah. So say now, in your mindset now, what are your top 5, 0 to 5? Go.
Well, I mean, see, this is the thing. If I go nostalgia wise, then I'm a fucking idiot because then I'll say,
what do you think now?
Probably okay. My number 1 would probably have to be my fucking Xbox One.
Really?
Because I've had a lot of fun playing fucking newer games on that. It was cheap when I got it, and I had no expectations when I got it, and I played tons of shit on there that I've really, really enjoyed. It's got a lot of fucking use, and you stick a fucking 360 game in there and it'll fucking play it. Nowadays, you'll stick a fucking regular Xbox game in there, it'll fucking play it if it's on the Xbox fucking download website. So it will actually backwards compatible to original Xbox. So the fact that it's provided me with a lot of fucking enjoyment, not more enjoyment than in the past, but more recent enjoyment with games that, like, because if you look back at your playing history, it's clouded with fucking time.
Clouded with nostalgia. And I'm shocked, to be honest, that you would say Xbox One for the top. Because I'm totally the opposite. Shall we do one each? Shall we do that? Shall we say top first and then go down them each?
Yeah, I mean, like mine weren't really in an order, but like they're in like but like I know what order.
My top 5, it's not in any order. Cocaine.
Just okay. What's yours?
No, but you can't say this is my top 5. But
no, I wrote down 5, but like I know what order they're in, but I just didn't put them in an order when I wrote them down. I used the blue on my pen.
What?
Just it's fine.
Order, but it's a secret code.
Yeah, I've had to like get my decoder ring out.
Come on, guys. Am I on my own here? Is Jeremy fucking insane?
Just do it. Just tell me your thing.
Number 1, Sega Saturn. And that's over years of. I never owned one back in the day when it came out. I was PlayStation,
right?
But my genre of game is 2D, shooters and fighters,
right?
And so for me, knowing what I know now and learning what I've learned, that is a word.
Yeah.
Over the years. It's a fucking powerhouse. It really is. And the PAL region was totally starved of all this awesome shit. And I think that if we'd have had a full release of all the games, PlayStation would have been fucked. And I believe that. I think Sega would still be a force because the amount of games on it, the amount of solid arcade games. And bear in mind, when this was released, we were trying to have arcade at home. It nailed it. It absolutely nailed it. There are so many solid arcade games on that system. But it's only in recent years, when I say recent years, it's probably the last 10 years, that I discovered the Japanese Saturn releases, and the amount of games on it is just astonishing. For my favorite genres anyway. And I suppose that shows us both as, I think you're more a progressive gamer, I'm more of a retro gamer. So although I have modern systems and I like modern systems and I want to see that progression, I think you're more invested in the progression and the modern systems than you are in your retro systems. See, I would have thought you'd have said GameCube because of your collection and the nostalgia and what you had for that. You know what I mean? But obviously we're now at the total opposite. You're saying Xbox One, which is current gen, and I'm saying Sega Saturn, which is what, 4th gen or whatever that was. So yeah, that's interesting to me. That's really interesting. So I think you're more of a modern gamer, or you have
Well,
more of an eye on the modern experiences, where I'm still locked into that pixelated 2D stuff.
right. Yeah, that's the thing, is that I realized quite late in the game that I had become a fucking graphics whore.
But you've gone home, Jay. Sorry, I'm talking to the comments.
That's good. Yeah. I'll put them up on the screen. The I became a graphics whore, and I became a mechanics whore, where like I was sick and tired of struggling with controls, because they're trying to fucking shoehorn controls into a controller that can't handle it. So as things happened, I get a game that plays well, the game mechanics, and that looks really good, and that you don't have to fight a camera, you don't have to fight, like, that's the thing with GameCube and those older consoles, is you were always fighting the camera, and you were always,
it's not quite got that right.
No, and you were always struggling with the controls that they shoehorned in, and the X and fucking Y button being like more prominent in those games than the fucking A and B button.
My experience of the third person camera, if you like, was Mario 64.
Right.
And I thought it worked quite well in that. And I mean, yeah, there are glitches, and you can't put the camera in the wall, or you can't.
Right.
But I kind of just accept all that. I don't really get frustrated with the glitches because of where you are in the game world. I kind of just accept that, okay, you can't put a camera there because there's a fucking wall there, or I didn't really, I've never really, I think you put a lot in store in that. If it doesn't quite handle right and all the rest of it, and I'm the same, if like hit detection's off, or something, like a cheap death, that fucking frustrates the shit out of me. At the minute, I'm struggling with getting this stick working on my Raspberry Pi because there's a lag.
Right.
Fuck off. I cannot have lag. It's got to be absolutely on it. And I know what you mean by broken controls. If it's not flowing, it's not ergonomic, and it doesn't feel right, you just fuck that. I'm not persevering, because why should I? You game and fuck you.
Exactly. It's not worth the struggle, because you're losing enjoyment because of something that they didn't fucking decide was important enough. Like Mario Sunshine suffers so much from. This is why GameCube's not on my list. It's like I said, Mario Sunshine. It's
not on the list. It's not in your 5.
It's not even on the list.
How many GameCube games did you own at the height of it?
450, 60, something like that. But the thing is like a lot of them, they don't age well. And I
think they do. If we're talking about poorly aging games, then N64 titles, step up.
Oh well, no, exactly. I mean, like that. I'm not. N64 is so far down the list. It's fucking but that's the thing. Like, a game like Mario Sunshine, which looks absolutely gorgeous, suffers so badly with camera fucking problems and control issues that, like, it's.
Are you sure it's the game's problem and not just you?
No, I've played that game twice, so I mean, I know.
I've heard you complain about controls in most games.
Nowadays, they've fixed most controls. Like,
how can so many people be wrong, Jeremy?
Well, because they're dumb. But so that's what happens.
I think it might be you, though. I think you're being a bit disingenuous. I think you need to just check yourself.
Yeah.
So the camera can't be over that shoulder at that point in the game. Let it go.
It creates unplayable portions of the game where you have to. You're yelling at the game because it's not doing what it should be doing, instead of fucking.
Now, see, for me, a broken game is when you fall through some fucking wall and end up trapped in a corner of the game world that isn't there.
Every
character sits there twitching. That's a broken game.
Every Assassin's Creed game I've ever played, I've fallen through the map.
I knew you were going to say that.
No, there is no exception. Every single one, including the one on the Vita. Within 20 minutes of me playing the Vita one, I'd glitched into a building that was just the render of a building, right? There's nothing inside of it. And I'd glitched into the building, and I'm like, I couldn't escape. I was like, I'm in a box. Like, what the fuck happened? And I'm like, thanks, Ubisoft. I love you guys. And like, being under the map, any Ubisoft game, if you don't glitch through the map, like, they do it on purpose. They know it's like, whatever, fuck it. Just start from the last save. Like, you're running under the map. 100% under the map, and it's like, or you fall to your death. No,
good
but at this point, I think it's part of the adventure. Like it's
it's the sub game.
Yeah. They owe me, and it happened in fucking Far Cry 4. Fell through the map, and I'm like, oh, hold on, Far Cry 4, and I look at the box, and I'm like, oh, okay, well that makes sense. I guess they didn't fill all the holes. That's fine.
Okay, listen, we've got 5 of these to do.
Okay, yeah, okay. Anyway, so yeah,
was that the top? Did we say top? Yeah. So next one down. What's your next one down? What would be 4 in your list? You're going to say fucking PS4 or something. It's all going to be for fucking next gen for Jeremy.
3DS.
Well, you are a big fan of the handheld, it has to be said.
Yeah, I still have mine sitting. It's right here.
You've got the extra boogie connector thing on it as well. It's a pink one. I've still got your DS, by the way. I've still got your pink one. I'm waiting for you to come over for it.
Well, yeah, sure. It's a $1,000 DS for me to fly over to pick up.
It's a micro. It's a Game Boy Micro.
Oh God, I've never had
screen on it as well now. As well, you've got a proper glass screen where it says DS Micro on it as well.
That's amazing. See, well, I'll be over. Don't trust me. In the next 5 years, I'll be there. So don't worry about it. Well, you're not going to die.
Then I'll be dead.
Well, I'll come and pat your hand as you're sitting there.
With the funeral.
Yeah, that's what I mean. It better just make sure you include that in the will that I'm getting that.
Hang on for Jeremy.
But 3DS, because it's one of those consoles where it does what it said on the fucking box. It gave you you play a third-party fucking 3DS game and it's not that great. You play a first-party Nintendo 3DS game, that game is fucking amazing. The 3D works, the fucking console works, the fucking controls all work. There's never any the only issue.
There's a theme here, viewer.
Yeah, well, that's the thing. I'm not fighting with a fucking console. And you can put a DS game in it and it'll play a fucking DS game. It's backwards compatible. The screen is amazing. I enjoy the touch screen scenario. The tactile connection to your game is something that they fucking mastered and fucking utilized to their advantage. And I've had so much fun, like turning on the fucking 3DS and playing a game like whatever game it is, it doesn't matter. Like Link Between Worlds, Zelda Link Between Worlds. It's a fucking perfect game. It's one of those things that it would get 10 out of 10 for me. It's absolutely amazing. The Paper Mario games, absolutely amazing. You don't understand how the 3D works. Even when you're playing it, you're like, it makes you want to look at the back of the fucking screen. You're like, well, how is this sticking out that far out of the back of the fucking? You just don't get it. But and it seems like a gimmick, but it's a gimmick that worked. It worked for me. And I've heard so many people where they're like, I don't even use the 3D. And I'm like, well, you're not the target audience for this thing. And I mean, that's why there'll be another thing included into my fucking list that is something that I'm mad at, but it's still on the list. But yeah, 3DS, I fucking, it's, and extending from the DS, which at first I was going to say DSi XL being in there. And I'm like, well, no, because the 3DS XL is the grown up version of that. So, I mean, they produced a product that I loved from the moment I fucking got it. I was all in fucking with the 3DS. And I mean, I still can't believe it. It's like, oh, well, here's a handheld console. It's fucking 3D. How about that? How about that, guys? Take your PSP and fucking shove it up your hoop.
And you don't need any special glasses to see it.
How does that work? How does it work?
Yeah.
And
I mean, when you get off a ride at Universal Studios, you go, how the fuck did that just happen?
Yeah, you're right. But yeah, I mean, like, there are fucking hundreds of games on that will all be literally AAA fucking titles. And you can pick whatever kind of fucking game you want on that console, and it's there for you. So, I mean, and you can stick it in your fucking pocket. I mean, and I don't usually blow Nintendo this badly because like I'm very anti fucking Nintendo. Yeah, no, that's right. Now I got both of them. I got Reggie Fils-Aimé and fucking Iwata going at the same time, right? Like I'm fucking spit roasting those cocksuckers.
Boy.
It's coming out, but the thing is me and Nintendo, we don't get along now. And I mean, like, I wouldn't even fuck him when I was drunk. Now that's how badly I don't like him, right? Like, so we don't get along. We broke up. So, but yeah, still the 3DS, it still fucking stands out as
wow, passion.
Yeah, it's really good. It sold me, right? It sold me. It turned me into. It made me believe that Nintendo was fucking clever.
But because they are, and I think things may come and go, but they are. They are. And like you say that, and I have got a Nintendo console in my 5.
Okay.
Well, there may be 2, but I have a handheld Nintendo console in my 5, but only recently. So, so my second. After that, can I get a word in now? Now you've gone on the rant for Nintendo, and we'll vote for Nintendo. Basically, I'm in now. Why I don't own a 3DS, and I need to sort that shit out, and I'm going to fix it tomorrow. But anyway,
okay.
No, I agree with that. You have been a big fan of that system, and it shows. And you're right. There's some great games on it. I struggled with my second because it's got to be a 16-bit system. If my first, the Saturn, and that's really being driven by recent times, then my second is the 16-bit era and is being driven by nostalgic times. And it's controversial, and I have to check myself here and say Sega Mega Drive. And it so should be the Super Nintendo, because I put them equally, really. I really struggle to separate the two, because the 16-bit era I was really consumed by and really invested in, to the point where I can't separate them. And I know that one has X amount of games on it that are really great and blah, blah, blah. And the other one has X amount of games on it and they're really great and blah, blah, blah. I wouldn't say, I'm so on the fence. I'm sorry, but I'm totally on the fence with it. But I can't have both for my second choice. And the only driving thing here is nostalgia, really, for me. Mm-hmm. I think if I'm pushed to say, I was more nostalgically connected to the Mega Drive than I was the Super Nintendo. That's not to say that I didn't love them both equally, because I did. For the games, there were things that, and the Mega CD almost tipped it to be pushed down into third from second, because of how Sega fucked me over with the promise of, this, that, or the other, and they got so much longevity out of the Mega Drive, false pretenses, promising you this or that, where you were going to plug into it and make it the next console. Just what a shitty thing to do to us all. And I was proper invested in the Mega Drive back in the day, and the Mega CD when that came out. Before it came out, when the hype train was, just starting to pull out of Sega Station, I was telling everybody with ears that it was going to be the fucking thing to have, and it, everything else was shy at the side of it, and this was the future. And it just didn't deliver. It really should have and could have. And there are a few titles that stand out on that I really love, Snatcher being one of them. That is probably, for me, the best game on the system. But it really didn't deliver, and everyone was left feeling fucked over and butt fucked by Sega. Is, I believe, why I went to Sony PlayStation and not the Saturn. And in hindsight, like I say, I've grown to love the Saturn later on. But yeah, I'll say Mega Drive for my second one. So many nostalgic games stick out in that for me at a time when it really was important to me. And I just can't take that away from it. It's got to be the Mega Drive. I'm not a Sega fanboy, even though I'm wearing a Dreamcast T-shirt. Saturn games. I'm not a fanboy at all. Like I say, these are the games that I wanted to play, so I bought those systems. But it wasn't long that the Nintendo, the Super Nintendo was out, that I bought one for the games. So, but if I was to be pushed and pulled, it would be Mega Drive for my second console.
Amazing.
Third. Come on, mate.
Well, I mean, we'll probably have to go third being original Xbox, because those games, a lot of those games do stand up. And when I was collecting my whatever 3 or 4 years ago, it was my favorite collection that I had, because you could put 75% of those games in the original Xbox, and they would still play well. The games were well, like the mechanics of the game were thought out. They worked well. They looked really good, still, surprisingly, especially if you're running it through RGB in the back component. It looked really good, and there were moments when you're playing that where you forgot that you're playing a console that's 2 generations back from where you were at the time. Like it's a beast. It's everything. Like it's not even a nostalgia thing, because I bought it late in the game. I bought it after it was gone, right? It was 360 era when I first got my first Xbox, and the very first game I ever played was Fable, right? Didn't play Halo, played Fable. So I was like, this is unbelievable. Why was I never like, I didn't believe in Xbox. I guess I was like, haha, Microsoft, what the fuck do you know about making video games, right? And the more that I played, like, and when I had my collection, it was the ones where you could literally pull almost any game off the shelf and put it in and be like, shit, this is really good. There's no part of this that's like, there are aspects of games that are every game that's shitty, but they just worked so well, and it's such a fucking workhorse console that, like, you can find all of them fucking work. I've never found one that's never worked on me, and it's I was late to the game, and I got a lot of fucking good gameplay out of it, and I've finished a lot of those games when I had them. And it's unusual, because like at PS2 games, there's so much bullshit on that system, but it felt as if with Xbox they kind of didn't release just crap all the time. And
yeah. And I'm going to agree with you on that one. I'm going to go the same. I'm going to go OG Xbox. And it was the system that that got me back into gaming after a long layoff from the PlayStation. I felt that it was, like you say, it was a beast. It offered, I think, the first kind of step, again, the first kind of real step forward, and I got Halo, and I'd never played a first-person shooter like that. Obviously, I played Doom on the PlayStation, but I'd never really seen a game like that. That was, Doom's just like blast away and just keep blasting and kill everything. Halo's the same, but with a story, with a hook, like a cinematic experience. And I looked at Xbox and thought, fuck, I've got to get back into gaming, man. That looks awesome. And I didn't, I'd say, like you say, it was the first, I think Halo was the first game. Like I've said, there's been recent games that I've put on and not played anything else till I completed it. And Halo was like driving me in a different way. It wasn't driving me to level up or to get to the next level, or it was driving me to understand the story and where it was going next. And I'll in other games, even though I'd played through Metal Gear Solid, Splinter Cell really built on that, I think, and again gave me that same feel, with some added visuals and some added experience. And even the driving games on it, Project Gotham Racing was one of the first games I got. The realism was just
unbelievable.
Yeah,
completely stands up. Like you can
yeah.
literally play that
Now,
game, and yeah, I know exactly. And if you've got a racing wheel with that game, it feels as if you're actually driving, and it's unbelievable because like there are games in subsequent console generations that all of a sudden are like mushy steering and like really harder to control. And even that when you play it with a controller, Project Gotham, it you're just like it propels you to want to keep playing more.
yeah.
Like
Like I say, the controls on that are nailed. It's a bit like Sega Rally. So the original Sega Rally is the controls are so good it doesn't really matter what the visuals are doing. And nowadays, yeah, they look blocky and the update's really poor and all the rest of it, but you've still got that feel. You really feel the tires on the gravel and the dirt.
yeah, no, exactly.
The programming to make that happen is way beyond any graphical improvement. You can't do it. And even Sega Rally 2 on the Dreamcast is nowhere near as good a game. It looks nicer, it's more polished, it has this, it has that, but the gameplay I don't believe is as good. Nowhere near as it doesn't touch it. And that was the same with Halo with me. Yeah, I played, I'd strafed in Doom for the first time and I was creatures.
Right.
And you're doing the same thing in Halo, but it's almost like you forget where your fingers are. If I can forget where my fingers are and where the next button press is coming from, that's nailed it for me with the control, because I'm ergonomically hooked into it, and I know it's muscle memory. I know what I need to do with before I've done it.
Yeah.
And the thing with Halo was, like I say, the whole, it's a package. It was the whole thing. It was a package. There's not one thing in that game that I can pick on and say I didn't really enjoy or wasn't really invested in. I proper invested in it, and for me at that point, Microsoft had just taken Sony and thrown it in the bin. I was, I wasn't a fanboy, but I was like, yeah, got to have an Xbox for these games because these games are the next best thing. They're great. And as you say, the thing with them is they stand up now.
Well, here's the thing. Like I never played Halo until I think last year, when it's Danny Dolphin's favorite game, like one of her favorite games.
Danny,
so she's like, she was like, let's, we'll play through Halo campaign 2-player online. And I was like, okay, so I bought the Halo 5 or Halo collection or whatever, and we played it through. And I played it with the newer graphics update because the old graphics looked so fucking. I kept switching.
Just give it a bit of polish. That's all.
Yeah, sure, that's what they did. But like, at no point in that game did I think this is a whatever how many year old game. Like,
it really, really dates well.
It totally, and everything about the fucking gameplay of that it's exactly fucking what's on the box. It's like it's so much fun, and the fact that I missed out on that and got to play it 20 fucking years later was just like, and that's just an Xbox game. It's just a fucking Xbox game, and I'm playing it now, and I'm playing it on my fucking Xbox One, which is why it got fucking top, but like, it still holds up. Like, and then you play Halo 2 and it's just more better, right? They're like, this is Halo, but guess what? There's also this, right? There's
the collector thing in me. So I've still got, and they're in the loft because I've kept all the Halo series and I kept all the Gears series, and there are games within those series that I haven't played yet. So I only ever finished Halo 1 and Halo 2 because I had to finish 2 because of how Halo was. But I've not played Halo 3 yet.
Me neither.
4 yet.
Me neither.
They're there. And I did have Halo 5 for my very shortly owned Xbox One.
Right.
But never put it in. But I know that a lot of people are telling me that Halo 3 is a really step up. It really is a great game, for the 360, and I should play it, and it's there, and I will. But yeah, and I feel like I need to be in a particular zone to play a game. I need to feel like, like I say at the minute, I'm wanting to get to Shenmue 2, and I feel like I'm ready to play it. There's so much I like to invest a lot of my time and myself into something, but I need to be ready. If I go in half-arsed, I'm going to bail out halfway through, or
right.
and I'll probably never go back to it. If I'm ready to go to it, I know I'm going to stick with it and complete it. But yeah, so we both agree on the OG Xbox.
Yeah, no kidding.
So what's your number 2?
Wait, are we at 2 or bottom 2?
Bottom 2. Are we at 3?
Okay, so that was the third.
I don't know. I forgot.
Xbox. Okay.
We've done bottom.
Okay. Well, the thing is it's the next one's gonna have to fucking be the fucking begrudgingly, as much as I don't want to say this, it's probably the fucking, and I don't like this console. Like, I'm mad at this console. It's the fucking Switch.
Why are you mad at it? I've just bought one.
It's fucking
because be careful.
Because I'm still mad at the Wii U.
So you're not mad at the Switch at all?
Yeah, I'm mad at the Switch's younger or older brother.
So is it Wii U or is it Switch then?
Well, the Switch is number 4, but because the potential of that console is fucking astronomical. The potential behind what that console is fucking crazy. Like, the fact that what it is, like, handheld, have it on the TV, pull the fucking Wiimotes off of it, right? Like, they're still grasping to their old shit. They're still like, no, this is really a good idea. Touch on the screen, it's like, but like, it has so much potential because you can bring it with you, that it's greater than the sum of its parts, because your experience with that is based on what you do with the console. Like, you don't have to, you're not tethered to a television with it.
See, that all sounds really positive and really, you're really selling it. So why is it pissing you off so much?
Well, it's the fucking it's the Nintendo economy. The problem with it is that you are literally brainwashed into Nintendo's fucking gaming mindset.
Danny's got 5 Switches.
Yeah, no, I know. I know. I'm sure some of them haven't even been out of the box yet. But I've got my Switch Lite, which I played like 3 times, and now I was going to give it away. Like, I don't want it. It's stupid, because there's 1,000 reasons behind the Switch Lite. Like, Switch Lite and actual Switch are 2 fucking different animals. But like, you're stuck into that Nintendo economy where whatever they think you want is what they think you want, and you have to fucking suck it up no matter what, because that's what they think you want. And they'll still
want that. Aren't they generally correct?
Yes and no. The thing is that the first party Nintendo shit is flawless. It's the fit and finish on that shit is flawless. It's incomparable to anything else. They have a set of rules that they follow that that is so strict that, it's like we're part of some kind of fucking regime where we're like, here's a fucking Mario game. Oh, yeah, that is the game I want. This is what I am looking for. Yes, this is exactly what I like. You are speaking my language. And it's like, even though it might be shit, there's that thing where you're like, it looks so good and it plays so well, and
Jeremy, let me just clear this up for you, okay? It's not bad that you like Nintendo. You're almost like, it's like you want to love it, but there's that part of your brain that's like, well, no, I'm being controlled to love it. I'm being controlled.
You can't tell the difference.
Do that to me, but it's not. You just like what they're offering you. Just accept that.
But the thing is I fight it. I fight it because
it's futile.
No.
It's futile. They're like the board.
I push back because if you go all in, you are fucked. You become one of them, and it's like, I don't want to be. I want to have I don't want to be blinkered by fucking
You're not a fanboy. You're not, because as you've shown, your loyalties will drift and they'll go from this to that. You're not a fanboy, so no, I don't think you should be frustrated with the Switch. I think you should. It's ticking all your boxes. It really is.
I've only ever had fun with it, and that's the thing, and that bothers me too. That bothers me too. That bothers me too.
You're hooked. You're cracked. You're broken.
Just Nintendo's fault.
It's not
Nintendo's fault.
It's you, mate.
Nope.
I love me. Why?
It's not me. It's not me. It's them. It's not me. It's them.
I've never known anyone be so frustrated with something they like.
Well, it's because it's just they sold a fucking bill of goods to you with the Wii U that wasn't supported, right?
Yeah,
and it's like, okay,
the Wii U,
Jeremy, invest in this fucking thing because it's everything that you want. It's touchy feely, it's fucking shaky, it's fucking turny wheelie car steery, it's fucking, all that shit. It's like, but after a year and a half, they're like, nah, fuck it. Fuck it.
No, that was a bit low. I have to say they didn't give it the longevity that it deserved to have.
And I was day one adopter of that piece of shit.
Having said that, there was many hours spent gathering dust, weren't there? That controller, you used to talk about that a lot.
It kept my house clean. Yeah. But I could run a white glove along any surface, and there was nothing on the glove because all of the dust just stuck onto the Wii U.
So I had a Wii U for a time, but I bought it to play Mario Kart 8.
Mm-hmm.
And we enjoyed that together.
We did,
and that was great. And but I just got a little tired of the IP, and I sold mine when Star Fox Zero wasn't a Star Fox game. That's right. I sold mine because it wasn't a shooter, and that's my genre hook. And it wasn't a shooter. I was really disappointed in it. I was all in for Star Fox Zero, and when it wasn't a Star Fox game, I was gutted. So I sold it back to Retro Dave Nintendo, sold it me in the first place. Thanks, Dave.
Win-win.
Win-win.
Yeah.
Is it my turn now? Or
yeah, it's your turn.
I don't know what day is it. Is it the weekend yet?
It's tomorrow now.
It's tomorrow now. You'll be needing to go to work soon. So what number? I know what my next one is.
We're at 4.
So, and no, we're not at 4. We went best to last, haven't we? We've gone best to last. So are we at 2? See, I'm counting.
Yeah, well, that's what I mean. We're at 4. So we're at 2.
Okay. So I'm going to say PlayStation, because it was the first and only console I ever pre-ordered. I've said this many times, and it was the first real leap forward for me in home gaming when we were chasing arcade perfect. Everyone wanted arcade at home, and it was the first real leap forward. And I bought it specifically for Ridge Racer because it was really close, really close to the arcade, and Sony kind of just threw the hat in as like a wild card in the midst of absolute domination of Sega and Nintendo at this point. They got big balls to do that in that particular era. I think they saw a weakness in Sega with the Saturn and that lineup, and I think they invested a lot in what we wanted at home, what the arcade player wanted at home, and they delivered it, and then created new genres that we've never seen before. So before then, I argue that Resident Evil was the first, sort of real visceral experience of a horror game, and giving an emotional response to something. And games like Metal Gear Solid and Resident Evil 2 are all-time favorites of mine. They stand out. I can definitely put them in a part of my life. I know what I was doing for a job at that time, and I know the amount of hours I sank into those games and why. and it really stands out at me as a point where it really moved forward. It really did move forward. And Sony also made games cool for everybody. It was when it came away from being a nerdy pastime and it made it mainstream. And I'm not sure I can thank them for that now, because it's a bit too mainstream. I think it's not niche enough anymore. It's almost like meh, it's like movies. But it did lift it, and it made it made a huge leap forward. So yeah, original PlayStation would be my next one.
Shit. Yeah, this is the hardest part, because number 5, like I've gone down the list and everything else feels also Ranish at this point, because I've had, like, with the PS1, I got a PS1 so late in the game, like they were discontinuing it at the video game store here, and I bought my PS1 for like $15, and they were selling off all their games for a penny.
Yeah.
And so I ended up with
to take them away.
Yeah, well, this is the thing. And so I ended up with like 40 games, and like all the Final Fantasy anthologies were in there. Just every single kind of game was in there. And so I was completely spoiled, and I played tons of PS1 games. But the thing is I was so late in the game that it didn't feel like, I just felt like I was just, it wasn't part, like when you get that much shit at once, you don't feel like you're actually investing in something, because you're just like, you're just being given, here's like a fucking pile of shit. You wouldn't have bought one of these consoles otherwise. So, but there it is. Like now you have 50 games and a fucking console. Knock yourself out, like that you never would have thought you had. So, and then PS2, I had so much fun. Like I got fucking carpal tunnel playing my PS2 with fucking Ace Combat, my favorite games of all times. But it was another situation where I didn't go out and buy a PS2 because I wanted to have a PS2. It was another situation where I bought a PS2 and a bunch of fucking games on Craigslist, and I ended up with a fucking PlayStation 2. It was just because it was there. The only PlayStation situation where I went out purposely and got it was the PlayStation 3. And the very first game I played on there, I think it was, oh God, what the fuck was that game called? You're a superhero, or you're a person and you have superhero powers, and there's like 3 of them, and it's called, I can't remember the name. I'll remember it like 5 minutes after the video starts. But
not Infamous.
Yeah. And I was like, it's open world, but you're not fucking you go from literal like set piece to set piece. You can do like side quests, but they're so small, fucking meaningless really to the game, but they're there. And I was like, oh my God, this is what the PlayStation 3 is. It's this. Yeah. And I was like, this is, you're not fighting the controls like you usually happened in the PS1 or PS2 era. There were always issues with the dead zones on the thumbsticks and shit like that. And all of a sudden this wasn't happening to me. And I'm like, holy shit, like Infamous, like I would have never have known about this. I purposely went out and I was like, I want to have a PS3. And it was later on, it was the 160 GB, not the big one, but the second release that they had, not the super slim one, but the middle one. And played fucking then I played Uncharted, and I'm like, oh my God, so this is what it's about. Like this is what I've been missing. Like I never knew that PlayStation 3 had this shit for me. Like I was just dumbfounded that I'd missed that for all those years. Like, well, someone sent me Uncharted 1, 2, and 3 because they were like, well, you haven't played these fucking games. Like, seriously, what the fuck's wrong with you? You need to play these. And I was like, God damn it. Like I felt like I missed out on all of that shit.
Yeah. I was a bit like that with my PS3. I didn't realize the quality of the exclusives. It's there. It is there.
Yeah, and it felt like that's the thing. It's like I had my 360 and I played a lot of 360 games, but PS3 games just literally at that time, they felt different. You knew you weren't playing a fucking Xbox game. It was a different animal altogether. And now that line is kind of blurred where you you could blindfold and fucking you wouldn't know whether it was an Xbox or a fucking PlayStation game, like, unless you knew. But like back then it was just like, holy shit, I missed out and I fucked up. And you get into these games and like it was nearing the end of its life cycle, so I had so much shit to fucking play in that system. And I was like, God damn, I fucking missed out, but I'm glad I got to catch up, because
that's the problem with the new modern era, is you won't be able to go back because you won't have the fucking physical media. That's the problem with that, but that's a whole different conversation. Yeah, that's what scares me about the cloud, and stuff. It's like, well, it will be there, but only if they allow it to be. So you can go on and you can play loads of classic Xbox games. Yeah, but can you play them all? And do you actually own them? Well, no, you don't. No. So that kind of worries me a little bit. If you want to go back, it won't be there. It'll be digitally there if they allow it to be.
Right. I mean, like that's kind of like with the Xbox One. That's the cool part about sticking an Xbox 360 disc into it, and it reads it, and it's like well, you obviously own the fucking game because you just stuck it in the slot. I mean, sure, it's probably not going to read off the disc. It'll download from the store, but they know you've got.
The miss with PS5, they really needed to make it. I'm waiting for the PlayStation that's fully compatible. That's what it needs to be. What's the fucking problem with? They've got it. They can emulate it on a chip the size of your fingernail now. Anyway,
right.
Just stick it in there, make it fucking backward compatible. What is the problem with doing that? I don't understand. It only go back to the last gen. Hang on a minute, we got hundreds of fucking awesome games that we could play here, and you could really hook everyone into your PlayStation, library. But you're gonna make it just, or maybe that's what they want to do. Maybe they're not going totally backward compatible because they want you to invest in their online service. I think I've just answered my own question there, haven't I?
Well, but here's the thing, right? Because like the problem with used games, especially like I always think of Sony as being the people who fucking deal with this problem. I don't know why, but I always just associate them with it. Who's making money off you buying a fucking used PS1 game?
Nobody. Just the shop you bought it from,
right? Or
selling it for twice what he paid for it.
So Sony's not making any money. Yeah. Sony's not making any money. Why would they make their fucking console play something that they made no money on?
Like I said, I talked myself into it there, didn't I? It's my own question.
Yeah. That's the thing. Is like there's no economy to it. So unless they all of a sudden are like classic PS1 games and they start fucking printing them out and you buy them
50 cents, you can download it for 50 cents, and who's going to miss 50 cents, right?
Well, exactly.
Yeah,
and so that's the problem. That's the problem that we have with. Eventually there will be no disc slot on your fucking console. Probably next gen from this, and that'll be it.
So they'll release, Xbox again have done a no physical media version. The S, which they tried before with the Xbox and it kind of bombed, but they're trying again.
They're
trying again, and they'll keep doing it until it's accepted.
Yeah, I mean, till once we'll see the day. Both you and me will see the day when. I
remember when you had to plug something in there.
Oh, I said, what goes in that hole? I don't know. Something flat. That's what the kids nowadays will be saying. They'll be trying to dial it. Like, oh, is this one of those dial games that has a dial on it? No. But like
they'll come a hole in the middle.
Yeah, that's right, dude. Ooh, I won. That's the but like we'll see the day where 50% of the consoles sold will be fucking discless, right? And when that day comes, that's when we know that it's over, that they will weed it out completely. They'll push the fucking. I mean, this is the thing. Like, there's another reason I was mad at the Switch. I was like, oh hey, look, we're putting everything on a fucking cartridge. the size of a fucking postage stamp.
I know,
Like,
yeah.
are you out of your fucking minds? Like, seriously, give me something tangible to hold on to. I do not want to.
In the last video, I kind of held up a game and I said, look at the fucking state of this, right? This is plastic. It's a plastic case. I open it. There's fucking nothing in it. There's no manual. The cheap ass bastards have put the controls on the back of the fucking inlay.
Yep.
And the game's smaller than a 50 pence piece. It's tiny. What am I getting for my money? I'm a Yorkshireman. You know, I want to hold something that I know. That's why I think, you know, if I buy like a special edition, I feel like I've got something for it.
Well, that is the.
It might as well be download only because there's nothing else there to have.
This is the problem that I have, is that it might as well be download only at that point, because they're buying into the fucking concept. Like, you know, that there was one guy sitting at that fucking table at Nintendo saying, you know, they were like, oh, we got to make it disc based or whatever. We'll make it like, no, if we make it on a cartridge the size of a postage stamp, kids will lose that.
No, we'll coat it in some foul tasting shit.
So, it does. It tastes bad.
I've never tried.
I put it on your mouth. Fucking tastes awful.
No,
but no, a kid's gonna flush that down the toilet. A kid's gonna fucking lose it. It's so small. I'm gonna put it in my pocket. It goes through the wash. Parents are gonna have to buy another one. There's that. They literally are banking on like 1/16 of the fucking Switch game economy being fucking repurchasing of games because their dumb kid swallowed the fucking thing. This is it. Like, and so that's another reason why I'm like, you know, I get it, but I mean, like, it pisses me off because it's like, why is Breath of the Wild on a fucking on a game card this big?
Because micro technology has allowed it to be.
That's witchcraft, that is. I don't like it.
What's going on there? We don't like that.
I don't like it, boy. They got four girls around a cauldron somewhere. I'll tell you that right now.
It is, though. From where we came from to where we are now, it really is witchcraft.
I know.
It's alien technology, you know.
Yeah, no, I know.
Backward engineered it in Area 51.
Yeah, no, I know.
What's the last?
What do you mean? That was it.
Last one then.
That was it. Oh, your last one.
Can I get a word in now? I'm the talent here, you know. So I said it was a handheld, didn't I? And it is, and again, it's something that I've appreciated more recently than previously, and that's because of, you know, the innovation of screen technology and the fact that we can have an IPS screen now that's backlit that looks absolutely awesome in just about any handheld console that we had back in the day. And it's the Game Boy Advance. So I bought one when it was released. I didn't pre-order it, but I bought one when it was released and struggled to see it.
Right.
A 32-bit handheld, the first 32-bit handheld, a Nintendo product. So yeah, all your IPs are on there. It's going to be fucking great. And it was, but you couldn't see it. So yeah, that it lived and died almost instantly when I bought it.
Right.
Now, there's such a catalogue of games for it as well that are great that you didn't see. But with one of the modern, and you can get a modern IPS screen for 40 quid. You can stick it in your Game Boy, and it is easy. I do it just about every weekend now because I sell these. And it turns it into a completely whole new different console. Really, you can see it. And I appreciate how great it was. It really was great. If they could have had a backlit screen back in the day, fuck me, man, it would have sold multi-billion units. It would have been so much better. But you couldn't see it. You had to be, you know, in the glare of a nuclear explosion because it really was a poor screen.
Yeah.
Like I say, stick a modern IPS screen in it now and enjoy that console now, because it has such a great library as well. All the reimagined Super Nintendo games, and all actual games that were developed for it as well. Great, you know, it's a great little system, and I would put that above a DS. I would put that above it.
Right.
But that's my kind of retro itch. It scratches the retro itch.
I mean, the thing is,
time as opening up all those games, and for loose cartridges, they're really cheap as well. And there's some games on it, and you can really appreciate them now.
Well, it's the situation where, like, in your circumstance, where you've gimmicked the fucking console to actually be a modern version of it. You might as well just get the fucking ROM card at this point. And I know I'm.
You can do that. You can get an easy, flash.
It's the easy way out. Just to save you the legwork of fucking tracking down actual things, because there's a lot of situations where the battery's dead in it and it won't hold a save or blah blah blah, so you eliminate that process. But I mean, like, I know that that's a real heated topic. I don't want to get into it because people could start crying.
No, it's about appreciating the console for what it can do now.
Exactly.
So it really doesn't matter how you're going to play those games, but just get them and have a go at it and see what you think now. If you had one back in the day and you thought it was sharp because you couldn't see it, just give it a go. Get one now and play it now with an IPS modded screen in it. Honestly, it'll change your life. They're great.
Well, really. I mean, the GBA player on the GameCube, like, that's where I played all of my fucking Game Boy Advance games. So Minish Cap, a game that you could only play on the fucking Advance, and I remember playing it on my big screen, and so I had a great time with it because there it is, backlit out the fucking wazoo, right? And Brandy was played Final Fantasy Tactics, where you would be like this playing on little squares, but like it's a fucking massive, it's on your screen like this, and it looked amazing. You don't really appreciate it until once you can actually blow it up to a fucking big size and it still looks good. The fucking pixels are sharp as fuck on those games, and you're like, that's why Nintendo is what they are, because of the fucking quality they produce, that even if something's the size of a fucking postage stamp, once you blow it up, it's still an awesome game. Like they really give you the goods that, and the game's finished when you get it, and you're fucking
there's no patch.
No, it's like I have so many good memories of playing like Game Boy Advance games that when I think about it, I'm like, I played that game, but I played it on the TV, like, wasn't it? And then I'm like, oh, that's because I had the thing. I had the fucking thing. Like,
great invention, really great.
No, for sure. No, it really like gave new life to games that you wouldn't fucking be able to access, right? And I mean, that's the thing. And nowadays it would be the same principle. You'd have the GameCube with the fucking Game Boy Advance player. If you had the ROM cart for that, you're literally like spoiled for choice. You can play, and all those games, like, there's fucking, I'm not going to say 50% of the Game Boy Advance games are good, but even if it's 15%, that's a lot of fucking games, because they sure pumped out a lot of shit. So I mean,
I would say maybe 30% are great, and then the other lot are just filler. But some great conversions, some great collections.
Yeah, no, for sure.
Great, like you say, individual games like your Minish Cap, and even the Metroid games that they built. They made specifically for Advance.
Amazing.
Gunstar Heroes game, Gunstar Hero Future. That's great. It's like a new 16-bit. That's what I felt like when I started playing. My IPS modded one was, these are 16-bit games that I didn't see, I now play them and see them. So,
right.
Yeah, no, there's some awesome titles on it. It's much overlooked, I think, as a handheld, really.
Yeah. No, that's some good choices.
5. There you go, 5 in. What time are we on?
We've been 2.5 hours of. I know.
You do know that's going to cost you about 10 grand.
I've got my team of accountants are working on that right now. Well, I mean, it's kind of hard because they only understand how much to convert stolen baby formula into money. So I mean, they're over there, they're hard at work on the
logistical problem. We just deal with potatoes and beans over here. So, you know.
Right. So they're trying to do that. They're trying to figure out the exchange rate between stolen baby formula, and then they change it to crack. Then they have to sell the crack on and buy stolen cigarettes. It's a whole it's too much.
I can't get involved in all that.
Oh no, this is the thing. Like, this is why, like, I'm not an economist. I can't figure that stuff out. I mean, seriously, I didn't even go to high school. So I mean, yeah, no, I don't get it. I just don't get it. But you'll get your money. Oh, I'm sure. Checks in the mail.
As long as it's there before the next episode, you know, we'll be all right.
I can't promise you. Mail's really slow now here in Canada. There's a lot of stamps.
Yeah,
there's no stamps. You can't. They're sold out. They're sold out of stamps.
It's COVID thing. It's no
stamp. Because they're licking the stamp, right? So they think. Yeah, you don't want to do that because you lick that, you put it on the envelope, send it on, you have COVID, you kill someone on the other end. You're basically a terrorist at that point. So they've stopped. No stamps allowed anymore. Oh, you have to wait on that one. Well, thanks for coming. Thanks for coming by the old Grub Shack for a nice visit. But no, seriously, this has been awesome, and fucking, you know, I'm surprised I'm not surprised we squeezed 2.5 hours out of this. I think, you know, you pulled that we're like one of those dolls that has the string on the back, but we can reach the string ourselves. Like, yep, hold on, I'm gonna keep going. But yeah, so I'll hopefully the viewers can come. No, there's fucking 13 of them. There's 13 of them right now. So hopefully the viewers in the rewatch or go into the comment section and fucking give us some shit to talk about fucking next, not 2 weeks from now, right? 2 weeks from now.
2 weeks?
Right? Isn't that right?
After this, I need a rest.
Yeah.
Well, you know, hey, we might be back next week. You never know.
You never know. There could be a surprise one. Yeah.
It depends, you know. As long as I've got enough beer to drink, and my bladder I need to really train my bladder. I've been holding it now for about 45 minutes, and I think that was after the last piss.
I just put a fucking
catheterized.
No, I got like a rubber band system. Rubber bands. It's a system because I got
hold this back maybe.
Well, you put a pencil through the rubber band, right? And if you really then just start twisting the pencil, right?
I see. Yeah.
Shit might go black and drop off, but I mean, you can put it back on. I think it goes back on,
isn't it? So for the good of the betterment of the community.
It's all for charity. So I mean, really, those kids will get that pool eventually. I swear to you, we'll send those kids to camp with this charitable donation that is mostly based on stolen.
Well, I'd just like to say thank you for everybody for listening, for putting up with that torrent of bullshit that we just did for like 2.5 hours, and hopefully, you know, some people might be asked and get involved next time. I think maybe we need to prep them, or maybe we're a bit too early in the day. You see, like I say, people in my neck of the woods are only just getting home from the mill. You know,
well, I mean,
a handful of cold gravel and scrub themselves with birch twigs, and then they're ready to join.
Yeah, in. I mean, that's the thing. Like, we can work on your schedule. I mean, like, what would be? Well, we'll talk about this off the air. I don't really think we need to include these fucking jabronis in our fucking planning stage.
These fucking jabronis? You mean?
I mean, our friendly people in the chat, and again, fucking.
We need to work on your people skills, man. They're terrible.
Well, I mean, the thing is I find it hard to really deal with stupid people.
I hate you.
Well, it's not my. Listen, there's no accounting for taste.
You were going to say that it's not my fault, but it so is. Own it, man. Own your shit.
Fine. Okay. It's all me. It's all me.
Thanks, mate. Thanks for having me here. Thanks for being there. And it has to be said that Jeremy's the driving force of the technology here. Even though his glasses have got no fucking glass in them. Oh, dear me. That is just so phony. Who does that? Listen, you know, you can trust me. My glasses are real.
Listen. Okay, well, thanks everybody. Thank you, Daz, and fucking we'll be back in the next couple weeks with some more exciting this.
Thank you.
Okay, see you later, buddy.